Hey, kids. You're listening to the internet's wettest podcast about video games, consoles, and pancakes. The SML Podcast.
What's up, everybody? This is the SML Podcast. I am your host, Joe. Joining as usual, Cole. How are you doing?
I was better before you told me to hush about the zombie shark time to manufacture. And now it's just like stuck in my head, and it's all I can think about, all the different steps and processes that it takes to
make a zombie shark.
Make a plastic zombie shark.
Which, by the way, you can check out the unboxing on our channel for
You're welcome.
Zombie Army 4 Dead War Collector's Edition that I had to import from Europe because I couldn't find it any other way. And it's the PS4 version.
False.
I know.
But you got a zombie shark out of it, so
and a
it's worth it.
bitchin' steelbook.
So painful.
So it is a party cast. Pernell is here. Chris is here. Tim is here. How is everybody doing?
Can't believe you bought a PlayStation product. What's wrong with you?
So unacceptable. I think this is where the friendship ends, honestly.
I'm the one who buys PlayStation Pro. Let me stop. Actually, well, we'll get to that later in the show, but who knows how the fuck that's going to go later, too. But for the most part, normally, I'm the one who buys those things. I don't know what happened there, Joe. I don't know who you are anymore, man. I don't even know who you are anymore. Somebody.
I am somebody you used to know. This is usually a reviews episode, but E3 happened.
Games now.
E3 happened, so we have a lot to discuss. And I figured we need a party cast to get everybody's opinions on everything that went down.
Yes. Every last opinion must be collected.
And then
because if we do it on Thursday and it's just me, then it's going to be me going, I don't give a fuck about that for most of it.
Yeah.
I don't give a damn.
And then me bitching that there was no Division and no Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Wait, why would Division be there? Is that game still getting content?
Excuse me, sir. You need to calm down.
That was awesome.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
The heat in here just shot up so high, so fast.
I've never seen her get that. Like, how son of a bitch.
Listen here, motherfucker.
What you know about Division?
How dare you disparage the Division?
I'm sorry. Please don't break my ankles. Don't break my ankles.
The Division Heartland is coming out this summer, apparently. But all we know about it is that they posted a blog or something to that effect, or press release, and was like, hey, yeah, so the Division Heartland is this summer and it's free to play, and we'll tell you more later. And we got nothing. We haven't seen anything. No, not so much as a screenshot. I
don't think it's coming out this summer.
Not a title teaser. Nothing.
Yeah, I would say it's not like they, didn't have room in their presentation,
Yeah. I know. And so it's just kind of and they kind of teased that there's a Division 3 in development in the same presser. But we got nothing. And the hardest thing is that, Division Heartland, if it hadn't have been just like a couple of days before E3 and they were like, oh yeah, by the way, we're making a game and it's coming out this summer. And you're like, okay, but it's summer now. Can we at least see it? A little bit. You could do a cinematic trailer. We're cool with those too.
Well, guess what? It wasn't an E3, so we're not going to talk about it.
Yeah, we just got pissed on, and that's the story.
This whole section of the podcast just going to highlight, delete.
Yeah.
But it's just
what's up, everybody? This is the SML.
Fuck off!
Damn, cold-blooded joking.
Whole-blooded.
Cold-blooded.
Cold-blooded. That's whole-blooded.
Well, you're talking Ubisoft, Cole. You saw the Ubisoft conference. That was on Saturday. I didn't get to watch it because I was busy going to watch Ryan Niemiller perform stand-up comedy, and it was hilarious.
How hilarious was it?
Very.
It was so hilarious, I couldn't keep my urine in my body.
Oh, that was mean.
No, that's
that
usually
out.
what people do.
The market.
How is that mean? That is literally people piss themselves laughing. What? I need to know the context you're coming from on this because I'm lost.
So mean.
How is that mean?
So anyway, Ubisoft. What happened at the Ubisoft conference?
Well, what happened is arguably their biggest reveal got ruined by Nintendo a few hours beforehand.
Are you talking about the Mario Rabbids game? Or?
Yes, which wasn't even the most egregious leak of the weekend. But yeah, they're making that new Mario and Rabbids game, Sparks of Hope.
And the name is stupid, but me want the game because despite the fact that the rest of the world thought it was garbage, apparently, I thought the game was great.
Are you kidding me? I feel like I've heard. I mean,
I too have heard good things.
Yeah, but like,
I should probably provide context. I'm referring to the fact that it's like constantly on like deep discount at like Target and various stores.
Oh,
well, I don't think that makes it bad. I feel like
I'm not saying it makes it bad. I think the game is good. I'm just saying it feels like if a game constantly ends up in like discount land. It makes me think they have trouble moving the product off the shelves.
No, it means it's made by Ubisoft.
Yeah.
Like, come on, dude.
People know that if it has an Ubisoft tag on it, that if they wait 6 months, it's going to be 30 cents. That's just the way it goes.
Yeah, I feel like the first one was pretty well regarded, especially it was like a first 6 months of the Switch. It was like one of the few Switch exclusive games early on that people could play before I think like the library kind of exploded. But beyond that, it was actually, a fun, kind of XCOM Mario game that, I don't know, nobody knew that they wanted, but was actually a lot of fun. And
I think that's what made it so great, too, is the fact that when they first announced it, admittedly, I'm not going to go so far as to say that I was like, this is stupid because I like weird and unexpected things. But the fact that it was never something that even once came to mind is like, this would be an interesting dream project. It was just like, the fuck is this shit? I never get surprised by games anymore, and they pulled it off. That is great. So, nuts and gum to that in a positive way.
Nuts and gum.
I just think the Sparks are adorable.
Yeah.
I've never played a Rabbids game. Huh?
Really?
They're basically Lumas, right? From anybody, you guys. That's what you guys got out of that too. Like they're like that universe's version of Rabbids. I mean, of Lumas.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah,
I'm so
like the things from Mario Galaxy. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Them sweet.
Yeah, Cole. What happened during the Ubisoft conference? Walk us through it.
Hold on. Let me get my notes here.
You're so prepared.
Look, they're right here. I just had to click to the other tab because you said you were showing us the zombie shark, and I had to look at it.
I think he means that you had notes in the first place.
Oh,
sincerely, you're actually.
I did.
Prepared.
No, she did. She emailed them to me.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
They're huge.
Yeah, we could do the Cliff's Notes version of them.
Listen here. So the first thing that we actually did see was not Division. It was Rainbow Six Extraction. I can't even say that with a straight face again. Rainbow Six Extraction, and it is being released on September 16th. We saw a gameplay walkthrough. It's 1 to 3 player co-op. It has the operators from Rainbow Six, although there are going to be some new techs as well. And it's basically a roguelike. If you die, you lose your shit. Start over. Do it again. If your tech goes MIA because they get captured by the goo, right?
Yeah. Isn't the weird thing about this game that like you're fighting aliens? Like, usually the Clancy games are relatively grounded in reality, and this is like, no, you are fighting aliens. Yeah.
So what happened is that there was a timed event in Rainbow Six with this same concept, and it was wildly popular. And so they said, fuck it, we'll make it its own standalone thing if you like it that much. So here we are.
3 years later.
Yeah. In typical Ubisoft fashion. Okay. But it looks cool as shit. The creature designs are really well done. They look very Alien and Predator-esque. But there's the whole concept of like the way the swarm takes over the map and how you move slower in it, but the enemies move faster in it, and so you have to like shoot it to clear it out. It's really well done. You have to like I said, it's almost roguelike in nature. If your operator gets trapped and you go down and the swarm or the enemies take that operator, and you can't choose them again until you get a team in there to recover that operator.
Huh.
So if you lose any progress, all that, it's gone. Just do it over. So it seems like it's going to be really challenging, but it looked like it was a lot of fun.
Cool.
And it's going to have crossplay.
Yay, crossplay.
Yay.
No, go ahead.
Fine.
I was excited about the next game they showed off.
Interrupted me for nothing. Shit.
Well, I guess I will say my thought then. I was just going to say, I think it's interesting that, like, for all intents and purposes, I actually applied, got on the E3 roster or whatever, and I'm fairly confident in admitting that I'm likely the least informed on this entire episode.
Wow.
Drop it, isn't it? Like, so that's pretty on
I guess
brand.
it kind of is.
It's a little more like buying a PlayStation 5 and leaving it in the corner for 6 months.
Well, that was worth it. I have no shame in that. But
how was it worth it? You didn't touch it.
I had no
By the way,
reason
shout out to Hazy JT for coming and dropping 100 biddies. Thank you so much, Hazy JT.
You know how the logic is with that stuff. It was a matter of getting the thing. Returnal was what made me want to play it. Like, but getting the system was the hard part. Putting it together and to do what? Stare at the freaking menu? Who cares about that shit? UI. There's people complaining about UI.
The improved load times for PS4 games makes it worth it alone.
Yeah, but I'm like, I have my PS4 and it's running, and I have a very limited.
Again, that's why I said the improved
size.
Load times makes it worth it.
Hey, did Pernell leave his PS5 in the corner during E3?
I know. Rocksmith Plus was announced.
Rocksmith Plus was announced. You can learn acoustic or electric guitar. It has advanced note detection. There's a subscription service that's going to go along with it, so you'll have access to the library of music from that.
I don't know if I like that.
I'm not opposed to it, but I think that's because it gives the option for them to swap in and out. If they could only get something for a limited license, it'd be better than not having it at all, right?
Yeah, but I'd rather buy it and own it.
I know you would, Mr.
Like Rock
2800 Rock Band songs.
I mean,
you are an exception, though.
Like copyrights and digital licenses and stuff is just like a nightmare. So there is kind of like this perpetual cost of keeping like music current. And so honestly, I don't like it either, but I blame the music industry, not the video game industry.
I think it's probably the best way to approach the issue, honestly. But in addition to that, there is a system in the game for making your own chords and music and putting it up for other people to learn to play. So you could effectively just like make your own in-game tutorials for other people, and they could go in and access them.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what they do with the teaching this time around. And I know you said no extra gear is needed, which has me really curious because the first game used the cable to connect your electric guitar to the system via USB to detect the notes you're playing. I'm really curious how they're going to do it this time around with no extra gear.
It did say you could use your phone as a mic. I don't know if you could technically use a mic as a mic. I would assume so if you wanted to. But it said if you had an electric guitar, you needed an amp, obviously. And if you had an acoustic guitar, it would work as is. It has the most diverse lineup of music that the genre or that Rocksmith has ever had. So there was pop, hip hop, country, Latin, blues, reggae, classical, and some more I didn't have time to write down. They said they had everything from big stars to, quote their words, indie darlings, whatever that may be. And then it also had adaptive difficulty, so you could actually speed songs up or slow them down as you needed to and re-practice certain areas in a song that you were having difficulty with over and over until you got better with it. It looked really good. I was curious with it because they were saying that any guitar and any bass would work. I was wondering just how far into strings it would actually function. Like, what if you used it with a ukulele?
Mm-hmm.
Did that work with the first one? Would that work with this one?
I don't know.
Because it's technically a stringed instrument. Like, how's it going to know the difference between a guitar and a ukulele? I don't understand how Rocksmith works, so this was new for me. But my kids are super into, like, they're learning stringed instruments right now, and I'm confused. And if I could buy them a game that would do it for them, I'd be like, here, shut up and take my money.
Anyway, next game. What else was there?
They showed Riders Republic.
Coming out September 2nd.
It looks super hype. It's coming out the 2nd. They showed off all kinds of different gliders and the different types of sports you would be engaging in against all the different people. There wasn't a whole lot of info other than just, hey, look what we're doing, right?
I thought the biking stuff looked cool.
Yeah, like it was sports, and I was just kind of sitting there nodding my head going, uh-huh.
Yeah, I like how some of the games you gave me like a bunch of notes, and this one it's just Riders Republic September 2nd.
I will say that I've had other people, Maka was expressing that even though the trailer and stuff was like really super high paced and looked really cool, like the game itself is actually kind of slow to play. So I'm curious to see how that pans out. But yeah, it's sports stuff, and I couldn't keep up. Sorry, guys.
That's fine.
It's okay. I don't think anybody on this episode could keep up with sports stuff. So.
My extent with sports is like Rocket League and Knockout City, and after that, I'm done. After that, they showed the Rainbow Six Year 6 update. PC is getting crossplay on June 30th. Xbox and PlayStation 4 will get crossplay in early 2022. They will not be able to play with PC and vice versa. They will only be able to play with each other. And PC will be across Steam and Epic and different platforms. So any platform on PC will be able to play. Any console will be able to play, but you will not be able to mix the two.
Interesting.
Can't cross them streams.
It's kind of odd because Call of Duty's just like, fuck it, y'all want to play together, good luck. And Rainbow Six is like, no. We're too serious for that. Let's see. Rainbow Six North Star event, they showed a trailer for that. It's a short-timed event that'll be happening in the game, and I don't remember anything about it other than they said it was going to be happening. Oh, they showed a new operator for it.
Yeah, whatever.
Hello?
I'm taking a second to read. Oh, my notes got screwed up here. This is what happened. They showed an update for Honor, and it's called For Honor Mirage. I didn't realize they were still supporting For Honor.
I didn't realize either.
Good for them.
Yeah, congrats
People are still
to
playing
For
it.
Honor fans. They showed a Trackmania update.
Carnage is excited for that one.
That's a good game.
I don't remember anything about that other than I was like, oh yeah, that's Trackmania. Brawlhalla is getting Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Cool.
Oh, that's good news.
So enjoy that. The Crew 2 is getting a new update.
I didn't know they were still updating the Crew 2. So again, props to them for supporting that after how long?
They showed Watch Dogs Legion is getting a new update. I assume it's DLC. They showed 2 new characters. Please don't ask me the names. I don't remember them. They flew by on the screen before I could write them down.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. And so it's Watch Dogs Legion, the Bloodline update. Ghost Recon is about to celebrate its 20th anniversary. They showed a short little trailer of like some of the Ghost Recons from over the years, and then they just said more details to come on how they'd be celebrating. Then they updated Just Dance 2022.
Your kids are excited, right?
Yeah, and apparently they made a big deal because Todrick calls a song Nair. I know it's gonna fuck it up. Nail, Hair, Hips, and Heels. will be in the game. I don't know why of all the songs that are out there in the world, that's the one they decided to highlight.
I never even heard of it. So
I only know of it because of like there was a political satire version that the person made. So that's the extent of my knowledge of it. We are apparently geriatric millennials now. But apparently there's going to be an exclusive version specifically for Just Dance 2022 with 40 new songs, and it'll be out November 4th.
Yay.
Then we saw Assassin's Creed Valhalla getting an update.
Cool.
They're adding one-handed swords. Whee! I guess people have been asking for that. They're also adding back black box infiltrations, which I have not played the last few Assassin's Creed games. We have them. I just don't have the kind of time it takes to dive into them. Number one plays them religiously, and she was about to flip her shit over the black box infiltration. So she's very happy about that. They teased that there would be more DLC, and also that they will continue for the first time in Assassin's Creed history second year support. So they're going to keep supporting it throughout this year.
Because there's no new one this year.
Yeah, there's no new one this year.
There shouldn't be.
Actually,
take time.
When is the last time they did that?
No,
they've been doing that since Origin.
Yeah, they put it on. I think it's a 2 to 3 year cycle.
They switched to every other year after Origin. Like Odyssey was 2 years after that, and then Valhalla was 2 years after that. So they realized they needed to fucking cool it.
But they've been the better for it because these last few people have
they really needed to.
The best. Also, they added in. I can't believe I didn't write this down in notes, but they added in the new the discovery mode again. That was in the previous games where it's kind of like turns the game into a living history museum, if you will, where you can walk around and get extra information about the historical elements. My girls love playing the discovery modes, so they're excited to see that coming to Valhalla as well.
Nice.
Then they showed a television show called Mythic Quest on Apple TV.
Next.
I was like, okay. Then they announced Werewolves Within movie.
Jacob's not here. Next.
That's a thing. And then we saw Far Cry 6.
Yay.
They showed a cinematic, not necessarily a cinematic trailer. It was a cut scene from the game. It looked incredible. The big bad is very Far Cry big bad.
Giancarlo Esposito.
Yeah. It looks really cool. I have not played any of the Far Cry games. We have like the last 4.
It's a running theme that you haven't played it, but you own it.
I don't have time.
Same.
I don't have time.
Weren't you just teasing me about not opening stuff?
Yeah, that's different. You know, I pre-ordered Little Nightmares and I haven't even installed it.
You pre-ordered it and never opened it.
Little Nightmares 2, even. But yeah, I don't have time.
Season Pass looks friggin' awesome.
Ubisoft
has been doing cool shit with their Season Passes, and I like what they're doing with Far Cry 6.
Far Cry 6 Season Pass is going to include the remaster of Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon.
Excuse me.
There was also a trailer that was very villain-centric and kind of hinted that you would be able to play as villains at some point.
Yeah, that's a DLC thing.
It was so murky. I was like, I don't know what they're talking about. It looks great, but I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, that's what that is. Yeah.
I imagine if you were a Far Cry fan, you were like, but for me, I was just like, huh?
Proud of you.
I know. And then, ta-da, we saw Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope, which we already talked about.
And then big surprise at the end of the show.
One more thing. They showed Avatar, Frontiers of Pandora, and it is expected in 2022. It is powered by the Snowdrop engine, which kind of makes me mad because I'm waiting on Division 3, but you guys are getting Avatar.
Don't lump me in it. I am not getting Avatar. Somebody is. It's not me.
If I'm not getting the Division, everybody else is getting Avatar.
Man, I wish I was not involved in the negotiations.
It looks pretty.
Yeah.
I've never
Prince of
even seen
Persia.
the Avatar movie. Oh no, they delayed Prince of Persia before the show,
Yeah.
and like that's it's in the wind. But yeah, Avatar looks gorgeous. It's going to be on all platforms. Enjoy if you like Avatar, I guess.
Cool, and that was Ubisoft.
I will.
Yeah, it was.
What was next? Devolver?
Yeah.
Devolver was fucking weird this year.
I couldn't even keep up. There were 69 chili dogs apparently, and I only know because Dan Thacker retweeted it.
Don Thacker?
Yeah, that too. I mix up names all the time.
Yeah, Devolver Direct, let's go through this one quick. They showed off Shadow Warrior 3 gameplay. That looks friggin' insane.
Yes.
There was a lot of story to this one. It was like 35 minutes long this year. They're getting longer and they're getting crazier.
It was delivered so fast, it was kind of hard to follow.
I know. Devolver Max Pass Plus was their big thing this year, and monetization as a service. It was ridiculous. They showed off Trek to Yomi, which is coming from Flying Wild Hog in 2022 to Series X, PS5, and PC. So that's a next gen only title. Phantom.
That was a pretty cool looking game. Hang on. That's like a Kurosawa looking samurai deal. I don't know. There's a bunch of very cool looking indie games that I don't know, I might mention quickly at some point during this podcast, but that was one of them.
I will say that one surprised me because it's coming to all the platforms at the same time, I would assume, because they didn't say different times. And usually the way that Devolver works, you can almost narrow it down to a clock, right? Like, there will be one for Switch, one for Xbox, one for PlayStation, and the one for Xbox goes to Game Pass. And when that one came up and it was like, it had all the logos at the bottom, I just went, what? They're off my clock.
Yeah, they're doing it for everything.
It's nice to see, though.
Yeah, I hope they keep that up. But that one looked pretty weird. I didn't even realize it was a game at first. I thought it was still a sketch that they were doing because of the visual style of the game. It looked really odd.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even remember much about it. It just kind of all blended together.
It's black and white. Yeah, seems to be sort of like a 2.5D scrolling around. Like, I don't know, is it like Samurai fucking Inside or Limbo? Maybe. But
that might have been the one that somebody said that about.
Yeah.
No.
In
Yeah,
chat
that's that.
too.
After that, they showed off Phantom Abyss, which is like a tomb raiding obstacle course style. It looked trippy. It's hitting Steam Early Access June 22nd, so it's right around the corner. That one looked really cool. I'm
excited for that one. That's kind of like City of Brass, but mixed with speedrunners. And if you actually manage to complete the temple, it's sealed forever, and you're the only person that can ever beat it.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's an interesting mechanic.
Yeah. When somebody every temple is procedurally generated, right?
Okay.
But when you encounter obstacles and stuff, you have the ability to activate the phantoms, which are the other people who have tried to beat it before you and died. So you can see what they did and either follow them or do something different.
Okay.
And then, so the further that people get, the more you're helping other people actually beat it too. If you don't make it, and if you do make it, seals it off, and you're the only one that can ever complete it.
And then they start a new one.
Starts a new one.
Cool.
One thing I wonder about is like some kind of like a listing of like all the ones you've completed, and if they do list them, will they read like Borderlands 2 weapon names or something?
So I have no idea.
That's cool. That's a cool idea.
Speaking of cool ideas, they sold a fucking VHS copy of their presentation on their website for charity.
For $1,000.
For $1,000, and it sold out like instantly.
Yeah.
And then they sold 2 suits that they used in the video for $500 each for charity.
Dang.
Yeah.
They are ridiculous.
I love Devolver. They are I like everything about that damn company. Now I hope I don't learn anything disturbing about them in the near future to ruin that. But
they wear their hearts.
I'm sure there's things disturbing you could learn, but I don't know if they would ruin the company or make it better.
Yeah.
Good point. With Devolver, it likely would make them better as a company. It's like, wow, I had no idea.
They did announce something to piss a lot of people off at the end of the show. We'll get there in a little bit, but they showed off Wizard with a Gun hitting Switch and PC in 2022.
Mm-hmm.
They showed off Death's Door, which is releasing July 20th on Series X and S, Xbox One, and PC.
I'm so overwhelmingly excited for that game. I've been waiting so long. It's Game Pass.
Is it Game Pass?
It is.
Nice.
Day one.
Sweet.
Nope.
They showed off Inscription, which is a fucked up crazy card game that I know you tagged me in.
I'm so excited for that one too.
I like their Twitter post about where he said our staff had to stop playing it because they were
three of the staff members deleted it from their computer.
I've talked about on the show before that there are ones that I get into playing and then just like I have to delete them because I don't have the time to sit and do that. And like if I'm going to get anything else done, I have to delete it. And then I make that joke all the time, and then I saw the Devolver tweet the same thing. I was like, oh, I'm in so much trouble with that game when it comes out.
Yeah. Coming out 2021. They showed off Tumble Time, which is a free mobile game coming. Interesting. And then this is the one that has people kind of in a tiff. They announced the game Demon Throttle from Doinksoft, the creators of Gato Roboto. Pre-orders are open now for the game through Special Reserve Games.
Only.
Physically, only.
Mm-hmm.
It will never be available digitally, according to Devolver. It is physical only. You can only pre-order it through Special Reserve Games. It's $30 or $40 for a special box version. Releasing in 2022, but they're taking pre-orders through, I think, October of this year. I don't like the idea of physical only.
Yep.
I get the idea. I understand the point they're trying to make. It's just still so stupid point.
Yeah.
Well, it's just trying to, that is artificial scarcity.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Like
and
right
that part
there.
I don't like.
That
like,
is.
Will I order it? Probably. But do I like it? Not so
Good
much.
luck,
especially
I don't
because
know that you can. The day they announced it, the wait for it was over. To the line to pre-order it was over an hour long.
Well, I was on the site. I know. I guess it was on the site looking at it, and since it's an open pre-order, thankfully, unlike like a limited run, though they've gotten better at that too. At least it's within the cards. But I do hate the fact that if I'm understanding it right, once the pre-orders are done, unless you buy it secondhand, you ain't getting it. And when they do things like this, there's no chance to determine if the game is even decent or not. So if the game ends up being a turd, everyone's locked in. You can't really back out. So if anything, that's the thing that bugs me the most is that idea of like you kind of have to just believe that Doinksoft is going to give you a good product, and there's no wait and see attitude available to purchasers. But I'll buy it. Because no, and I mean, in all due honesty, though, reason I am going to probably end up getting it because I did watch the trailers for it, and it reminded me of some games from the past. Of all things, King's Knight, which I didn't like, but I did enjoy somehow. I don't know how to explain that.
Wait, hold up.
I know. That's why I stopped myself, because it's weird in that. I'm sure you've played a game in the past where it was like, as you play it, you were like, I can dissect things I see wrong with this game. And yet at the same time, you just kept going. Like, you were like, well, I'm still engaged. I want to keep doing this despite the fact that I've got beef with this. That's how I always felt about King's Knight itself. So everyone can make that gameplay better, I'm in. It also reminded me of like Dino Ricky.
That sounds a lot like sunk cost fallacy, where your brain's just telling you that you already put time into it. You might as well see it through.
But that's just it, though. I didn't buy King's Knight. It was my neighbor's game. I didn't know.
It's funny. I actually just bought King's Knight a week ago.
Oh my god!
I'm sorry.
Of course you did.
No, I like the game.
No,
I'm just teasing you.
Sunk cost doesn't just mean sinking money into something. Like, you put time into it, you invested in it with time. So you're just like, well, might as well suck it up and keep going now.
I always felt like, aside from money, if you were looking at progress, though, sunk cost involves things like games where your progress is like stored, so you can like get further or further. But with King's Knight, you always start.
We're getting off topic. We're getting way off topic,
and that's why you're the moderator / host.
That was Devolver. Let's move on.
Dino Ricky.
Next big event was the Microsoft and Bethesda conference. We'll try to get through this one fairly quick.
No, we won't.
Lord knows that's not going to happen.
We'll try. We'll fail.
They started off with Todd Howard intro leading into a Starfield video. It is releasing 11/11/22, so it's coming out next fall.
11
Xbox
years
exclusive.
after Skyrim.
Really? 11 years?
Yep.
I like how they snuck the release date into the trailer like that, though. Because they put it in like where she was like on the little screen pushing buttons. I wasn't paying a whole lot of attention because I was like, yeah, Starfield.
Yeah, I was, this is not going to be a tangent, I promise. I had to go take my child to a birthday party that afternoon. So I did not get to watch Xbox or Squeenix live, which is kind of a good thing in the end, maybe.
Yeah.
But fortunately, the Starfield trailer was posted by the Washington Post that morning, so I was able to watch it before I went.
Wow.
Whoopsie.
So they leaked it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just posted it early, and there it was.
I was probably like, look, I know I'm supposed to post this is like noon, but I got to take my kids somewhere, so I'm just going to dump it now.
Whoever's responsible for their scheduling just lost their job. I can tell you that.
Perhaps.
You don't fucking break embargoes.
No, that was something like that.
Yeah.
That was a pretty big one right there to
drop embargo on, yeah.
But yeah, anyways.
Next year, confirmed Xbox exclusive. So PlayStation people, you're going to have to either invest in an Xbox or a better PC.
I want to take a second to appreciate how much they hammered home it's an exclusive. Because so many people have been like, no, they're not going to make it.
It's going to show up on everything.
It's going to be on everything.
They didn't pay that much money to lose out on PlayStation sales.
Yeah, and it's just like, they were full on, like, it is a full on console exclusive for Xbox. Period.
Yeah. And day one Game Pass.
Yeah.
He actually said period.
He said, listen, you motherfuckers.
Listen, you pieces of shit. You're only getting it one place. It ain't over there.
Two places, because PC as well. Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl was shown off. This thing looks visually stunning. It is gorgeous. I
was not paying a whole lot of attention to Stalker up until this, and now I'm like, oh shit, I want to play Stalker 2.
Yeah.
It worked. The trailer did its job.
Won't have to wait too much longer. April 28th, 2022, so less than a year away. Day one Game Pass is minimum 3-month console exclusive on Xbox. That was leaked that they have a 3-month exclusive on that. No word on if it's going to show up on other platforms like the Medium showing up on PS5. They showed off a video for Back 4 Blood, and they confirmed October 12th, day one Game Pass, baby.
Yeah.
I'm happy that game got an actual
Man,
date.
you know what? Actually, it'll probably be easier for you to just say the things that aren't on Game Pass day one.
There were 3.
There you go.
Of the 30 games they showed, 3 are
one
not
was
on
Diablo 2.
Yes. And one was Battlefield.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the other was...
I don't know. We'll get there. They showed off Contraband.
Code and shit. But yeah, so there you go. Everything's
Far
on
Cry. They showed another trailer for Far Cry.
Yeah, so everything's on Game Pass, and that's amazing because Game Pass is the shit. And yeah. That's why I got an Xbox One, because I watched their presentation like 4 years ago, and I was like, and maybe it was 3 years ago, whenever it was, and like, yeah, this will be on Game Pass. This will be on Game Pass. And I'm just sitting there watching it like, I could just buy the fucking console and I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm pretty thinking eventually, once I get to the point where I'm done with like physical copies, which is, I'm actually getting there slowly but surely at this point. That's probably the direction I'm
almost imperceptible to the human eye.
Oh, it's perceptible. People think I'm making up when I'm like, what's his face? The Switch is my last like console for that style of like game acquisition. Like I don't see the value anymore. Like, well, not a side tangent. I'm not gonna go down that road, but basically, the point is, I'm looking towards likely end up going to.
Stop him! He's on the road.
Oh, stop it, you! I'm going to end up getting Game Pass eventually, too, specifically because of it. It makes
you should have it already.
Makes good sense.
Even Jacob has Game Pass now.
Even Jacob?
Even the worst person you could possibly think of on the planet has Game Pass.
Poor
the just
Jacob.
stupidest, bottom of the barrel. I don't even know this guy, really. But fuck him, apparently. He's the worst. I love
Even
him.
Jacob has it.
Oh, shit. They showed off Contraband, new game from Avalanche Studios, the creators of the Just Cause series. Console exclusive, hitting Game Pass day one. No date, though. So I don't know. I'm guessing that's a couple years away.
Yeah. I would assume next year at the earliest.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll find out more in the future, but they showed off some Sea of Thieves content. Fucking Captain Jack Sparrow is coming to Sea of Thieves.
I love this so much. It's so ridiculous.
Okay.
I really do.
I don't care about anything involved in this trailer, but what was funny is I had subtitles on, and the subtitle as it started was like dramatic, and then in parentheses it said Disney with an exclamation point music. And I'm like, is that someone just being cheeky? And then I was like, oh wait, no, there's actually Disney here. Like they were trying to drive that point home. I thought was very funny.
Jeez. But yeah, A Pirate's Life, an epic original story, is coming to Sea of Thieves June 22nd, and it's free.
Yeah.
Holy shit. I think I'm going to re-download Sea of Thieves.
I like Sea of Thieves. I was one of the few people who this whole time have been like, I just wish more people would play Sea of Thieves with me.
I like it. I just don't have anyone to play with, so shoot me an invite and I'll play with you.
I always get frustrated because, like, I'll spend 2 hours playing Sea of Thieves, having the time of my life, and then somebody greets me and I shut it off and don't touch it for 3 months.
Nice.
And then I do it again. Because
Lady
the itch will get there.
Play with me. Done.
I get the itch. I'm just like, I just want to sit in Sea of Thieves and fish off the side of the boat for like 4 hours. And that's what I will do.
Well, I'm going to go play with Captain Jack Sparrow. They announced Yakuza Like a Dragon is now on Game Pass. So
I already got 2 friends who started playing it because of it, too.
Yeah, the whole mainline series is now on Game Pass, which is crazy if you want to play that series.
Started it. Yeah.
Battlefield 2042 was shown off. There was a tornado.
Hope everyone's okay.
All right, keep going.
Yeah, it's not on Game Pass, which I was surprised. I thought for sure that would be a Game Pass game.
Yeah, I think they're looking to make some money.
Oh, in Battlefield?
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
Yeah.
I fully
props for paying attention.
That, well, my child asked me a question. I was trying not to be a pain in the ass about that. But I would say in 7 months. It'll be on there if you don't want to jump into it right away. The thing with Battlefield, the new one, is that there's no campaign.
Yeah.
And the campaigns
we talked about that last episode.
Yeah,
about
but the campaigns are the only good part. So you can wait 7 months to try out the multiplayer until it's in EA Play.
Yeah. They showed off a new video for 12 minutes coming out August 19th to Game Pass.
It's an interesting
How long was it?
Come on now.
I'm gonna punch you. I'm gonna fucking punch you.
I'm surprised to see 12 minutes going into Game Pass.
Really?
It was kind of like Annapurna Interactive doesn't usually jump to putting games on Xbox first in the first place. And then even when they do, it usually takes a few months for them to hit Game Pass.
Microsoft gave them some money.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't blame them for it. And I'm glad they did it because I'm excited to play 12 minutes. But
now I am excited to play a game that comes out the very next week, August 25th, Psychonauts 2.
Wow, finally.
That's where I'm in. That's where I'm an interested fan. Gimme.
For now, it's going to be on Game Pass.
Oh, well, I'm one way or the other I'm playing. I don't care where the hell it's going. I've been waiting for that game for so long. I have a freaking PC version purchased. The old box with the 5 discs that you had to install one at a time. That's how old the first game is. And we're just now getting the sequel. My nephew went through the entirety of grade school while that game was between the two games.
I mean, mind you, they crowdsourced that 6 years ago. So if you want,
the only downside to that, though,
it's safe to say if it weren't for Xbox intervening there and Microsoft intervention, you'd probably be waiting 6 more years for that
maybe.
one.
You know what that sucks about it? Now that it's so close, is due to the weight and the legend behind it. It's got some Kingdom Hearts 3 flair going for it, which is that it better be freaking good because eyes are going to be like, what the fuck? We waited how long? How is this?
Well, it's Double Fine, and they have a fairly solid track record. It's not the best in the world, but it's overall fairly solid.
It's always interesting, if not fun. Yeah, if not actually good.
And at least with this game, it's not like they had to reinvent the wheel. I mean, there's already a template from the previous game, so it just needs to work again.
No.
Just look nicer and still tell a fun story, which they're generally good at doing that. So,
speaking of fun stories, 10 Bethesda games joined Game Pass. Arx Fatalis on PC, Dishonored Death of the Outsider on everything, Doom 2016 on Xbox and PC, Fallout 2, Fallout 3, Fallout Tactics, Fallout 3 on everything, the rest on PC only, Rage on everything, Evil Within 2 on everything, and Wolfenstein 2 on everything.
All I care about is Arx Fatalis.
I want to play Evil Within 2.
Hey, I'm about to say, that's a good game. You better look into Evil Within 2. I like the first one, and they improved this one a lot due to how they made it very, like, you would think a survival horror style game, though it's more actiony, admittedly, but you would think them making it open world would have been a detriment to it, but it actually helps it a lot.
Are we talking about Arx Fatalis?
We could be if you play Evil Within 2 first.
Now, I'm kind of bummed Arx Fatalis isn't hitting Xbox. I know it's available on the original Xbox. I was kind of hoping it would join the backward compatibility program, but oh well.
Give it time. I mean, when you stop and think about it, there's still more awards and game shows and stuff for the rest of the year. There's still time for shit like that to get announced.
Yeah, I hope they restart the backward compatibility program. That would be nice.
What is Arx Fatalis? Since you're really excited about it, but I've never heard of it until we started talking about it on this episode.
Chris, go ahead. What is Arx Fatalis? You can explain it.
I was about to mute my mic and type at root beer.
Did your child ask you a question?
My podcast asked me a question. Arx Fatalis, it's a I want to say it was a first person RPG that was trying to monopolize a little bit on Morrowind, but by way of Ultima Underworld. It's where you're a sword swinger who starts off in prison, and the entire game basically takes place underground. But it's open world, as much as it can be, and featured ridiculously, genuinely creepy spiders.
Oh,
but I always had a real affection for this one, when I picked it up on original Xbox. So I have never beaten it, although I've seen it beaten. And it's really cool for people like me who were into Ultima Underworld and Daggerfall and all that stuff before first person RPGs were the thing.
Well, now it's on Game Pass for Windows 10.
Yeah.
So
I am going to have to check that out.
Check out Game Pass on Windows 10.
We'll see.
Skyrim's 10th anniversary is this year, so if you don't feel old enough.
So Bethesda's doing nothing.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get a 10th anniversary re-release of the game. I mean, we have a 5th anniversary re-release of the game with a steelbook. Why wouldn't they do a 10th anniversary?
I'll be tempted if they do anything. If they do anything that has any kind of content, I'll be all right. But if it's just repackaging the game, then I'll be nah.
Fallout 76 has new content coming with the Steel Rain update hitting July 7th and a free update. And The Pit is coming in 2022. Elder Scrolls Online Blackwood was shown off, and it is getting optimized for Series X and PS5 on Tuesday, which was today. Next game they showed off, this was an interesting one. It is a console launch exclusive coming out in 2022 to Game Pass. It's called Party Animals. It looks like they're trying to
rip
jump
off
on
Gang Beasts.
Yeah, Gang Beasts, Fall Guys, the whole multiplayer competitive weirdness. It looks weird.
Yeah,
It's adorable.
Does it look
Weird.
different enough from Gang Beast to maybe be worth owning both, or is this definitely like a one or the other?
It looked like exactly like it. I was like, what the fuck? Do you have no shame?
They looked at their wallet and said no.
Yeah, basically.
Well, it's going to be on Game Pass, so you don't have to own it. Yeah,
Great. I don't have to download it either.
Some of the most exciting news: Hades hitting August 12th.
Fucking finally.
Yay.
Other
Yay.
systems. I have a friend who's been waiting for months and months. He just kept bringing up. So the first thing I did was like, "Hey, guess what you're playing in August?" And he immediately knew what I was talking about.
It is launching August 12th. It is also launching on PlayStation. But who
gotta
cares
say it
because
like
it's going to
that.
be on Game Pass.
And it will
PlayStation
not,
owners for one.
yeah, it will not have cross progression.
Yeah.
You will not
Too
be able
bad.
to carry over PC or Switch save.
No. Oh well. Somerville, new game announced coming 2022. I don't
It's a
remember
very
much
cool
about this
looking game.
one.
I don't
That
either.
is like a family, like War of the Worlds type deal, is what it looks like.
Oh.
Like you start out on the couch, and then like you're leaving your house, and shit's coming apart, and like things are falling from the sky, and there's like the military, and you're like dodging things, and
That sounds like my summer.
it looked pretty cool.
Yeah, I remember seeing it and going, that's artsy fartsy kind of shit that I will play, and I'm here for it.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
Well, it's coming next year, so we'll hear more about that down the line. Coming this fall, though, this holiday, Halo Infinite multiplayer will be free to play, and the gameplay was shown off. It looks significantly better. The campaign will
You
also
would
be
have
available
to.
for holiday. Yeah, true. But yeah, it's going to be out holiday. It's coming out this holiday, confirmed.
So they say.
Allegedly.
It's not confirmed. Yeah, come on. There's months left in the year.
If
Joe.
anything, the campaign might get delayed, but if the multiplayer doesn't launch this holiday, they're fucked.
Yeah, that's not a good situation.
Are we gonna have to like put all our
What?
Xboxes together and LAN them together with a bunch of TVs and stuff?
I mean, you
I mean,
probably could if you wanted.
Well, now that a lot of us are vaccinated, we can make a thing out of it.
Which holiday do they mean? Do they mean Martin Luther King Day next year? Do they mean Arbor Day next year? Come on now.
Yes, Arbor Day.
Holiday 2021, New Year's Eve.
Possibly.
The last possible holiday.
Not technically a holiday.
After that, they showed off Diablo 2 Resurrected. Yay! 8-player co-op coming September 23rd.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fuck yeah.
Very excited about this one. Very, very excited. You can pre-order now if you want, which...
Not on Game Pass.
No, not Game Pass, unfortunately. So I'm
What
going to
is
have to
it?
buy
So
this one.
That's Diablo.
Past that.
That's Blizzard. Well, Activision,
No.
I guess. Let's be real.
But we'll bounce back with another Game Pass game. A Plague Tale Requiem is coming next year.
I screamed out when I saw it. I was so excited. I loved the Plague Tale, and I'm so excited. I was not expecting a sequel or for it to
Really?
look that good.
So
Yeah.
I heard a lot of rumors that not only was it going to be a sequel, but it was supposed to be an exclusive. It turned out it's going to be on all platforms, so it's not an exclusive, but it will be on Game Pass.
I think you underestimate my ability to avoid the information I don't want to know. Because
Oh
was
no, I
dodging
talk about
landmines.
things on the show plenty of times and go to you and you're like, huh, what?
Who am I?
New video
Are we
shown
talking
off of
about
Far
Square
Cry
Enix?
6.
Yeah.
Far Cry 6 coming October 7th. And then they showed off a couple of exclusives coming. Console launch exclusive Slime Rancher 2 coming 2022.
Yay!
Slime Rancher was a game that I did not expect to find endearing, and yet, holy cow, was it
Slime
ever.
Rancher is delightful. And the new one looks so good. It's very pastel rainbow, just fucking everywhere. And
It's
there
pretty.
were bunnies. There were bunny slimes, and they were great.
It looked like in any way like they like expanded on like the gameplay of the previous one, or is it like more of the same in visual and in gameplay?
I mean, for what little they showed off, it was very similar, but they didn't show much.
Yeah, it was just kind of like a CGI trailer.
Yeah, it wasn't. It
was,
wasn't.
hey,
like
this
a gameplay
exists.
trailer. Yeah.
Also existing, this one is another weird one. I'm going to throw this with Party Animals. Console launch exclusive coming December 2021, Shredders, a snowboarding game.
Oh, so I guess
I didn't hate it.
It seemed like an AMP style game.
I wonder why they didn't just go with Amped for it. That's such a better name than Shredders.
Well, I mean, shredder. Yeah, with turtles is the thing that comes to mind. But I mean, as far as like snowboarding goes, shredding is a term really used in regards to snowboarding.
I know.
It fits. It's just now I do want him as a hidden character.
Yeah, that would be amazing. After that was a video for Atomic Heart, a weird action game with music and cyborgs, and hitting Game Pass, and it looks crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I know Aki's excited about Atomic Heart.
Yeah, it looks like Fallout, but in USSR. Union. Yes, the Soviet Union Fallout game. Yes,
I am curious. I like that for some reason, like the image that everyone was passing around was like a woman with a ladle. I was like, "Well, I'm in." I don't know why, but that seemed to draw my attention. So, keeping bowls of robotic justice. I don't know. I'm sold or interested at least. What?
Cool. Well, after that, they showed off. I'm just trying to keep things moving. They showed off a video for Replaced, another console launch exclusive coming 2022. I don't remember a lot about this one.
I'm trying to figure that one out myself. All I really know about is that you're apparently a person who gets downloaded into another person, but the reading that I took on might be referring to you as the player being downloaded into a person and not particularly a character in the game. I don't know, but it looks nice and interesting in the sense of like the
Oh, that game. Yes, that looks good. Fuck, sorry. I was just like, what? I could not remember what the hell it was, and then I couldn't find it to look at it. Yeah, that's like yet another slick-looking 2D adventure exploration indie deal.
Coming out next year, so we'll hear more about that in the future. Grounded is getting a big update, the Shroom in Doom update. It includes such features such as pets, mushrooms, achievements, sitting, which was apparently a highly requested feature, and it has the Brood Mother.
Even when they turned on the arachnophobia filter for it, it was still looking.
But that update is coming June 30th, so it's right around the corner. I know Carnage should be excited about it hitting achievement status.
The question is, will they be retroactive and that anything you've already done in the game pop them? Or will you have to do it all over again?
I don't know. We'll find out. Showed off a video for Among Us getting 15-player lobbies coming soon to Game Pass. They showed off Ayuden Chronicle 100 Heroes, which is coming out in 2023. It's an RPG with an HD 2D look, the whole Octopath Traveler style. And then they announced a second game, Ayuden Chronicle Rising, which is coming out in 2022.
I don't think this is I'm looking.
That is new Suikoden, is what that is.
Is it?
That was a Kickstarter. Yeah, it was kickstarted, and that's what it is. It is basically them making a new Suikoden, but not Suikoden. And
hey, you can even see like the Suikoden influence, not just in the whole 108, but like in some of the character designs,
and the combat.
Antics.
Yeah,
I'm not sure how it's going to play out in the grand scheme of this, but I liked how they had battles where characters were like positioned in different places, like around the battle. It wasn't just like, here are all your guys, and here's the enemy. Like you had a guy up on a mountain sniping a dude, and then you had like two people over here. I'm like, I wonder if that's like set up that way, like thematic, from like a theatrical standpoint, or is it going to be a case where sometimes you can actually tell people, I want people to be flanked like this, the environment allows for it, and stuff like that. I'm actually very curious about it.
It's interesting. Yeah, I am also. Well, I mean, we got lots of time.
Yeah, long wait for that one.
Yeah, plenty of time for that one. But yeah, I am also pretty excited for it.
Something we don't have a long wait for. July 29th, we are getting The Ascent. I'm super excited about this one. This one looks really cool.
I've heard a lot of good things about The Ascent. I'm looking forward to it.
Pass some Ascent deets.
It's The Ascent is like what Cyberpunk could have been if they tried to just make like a instead of a 3D world, if they'd scaled it back to like a more pixelated, isometric type of world.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very cyberpunky. It's 4-player co-op. It's Game Pass.
Game Pass.
So you have no excuse except for that you don't have Game Pass.
Game Pass.
So
I swear to God, every time someone say Game Pass,
Are you guys
see.
talking about Game Pass?
Yeah,
Really?
believe it or not.
Gaming?
Believe it or not, Age of Empires 4 is hitting PC October 28th, hitting PC Game Pass. That is cool. They confirmed the existence. The Outer Worlds 2 is happening. They don't even have a trailer for it. They
just a lot of
just
fucking
a logo.
Sarcasm.
Yeah.
A lot of some jokes.
it was
Some funny business.
I noticed they stressed it's hitting Game Pass day one, but they didn't stress it as a console exclusive.
I mean, it was on Switch, the first one, so
And PlayStation.
yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So I wonder if there's a contract that's going to keep that on other platforms.
or whether they just want to, or
Yeah.
they don't know yet.
Who knows? We'll find out. Microsoft Flight Sim is hitting Xbox Series X and S on July 27th.
Woo.
Woo!
and
And it's getting a free Top Gun expansion this fall.
Nice.
I'm not gonna lie, it looked pretty cool.
Or it's like a mediocre shooter, but it takes you like 10 tries to land the plane on the aircraft carrier. I hope it's that one.
No, it just adds in like the
Dodgeball.
jets and stuff.
Oh.
Dodgeball side game.
Dodgeball.
Or volleyball. Why am I saying dodgeball? Volleyball.
Oh.
Never mind.
I was thinking like playing dodgeball with planes. Like, I
Oh,
didn't
that'd
make
be
the
amazing.
connection to the film at first until you said
You know,
volleyball.
nothing else matters because the next game was announced. This is the game of the show for me. Motherfucking Forza Horizon 5 is coming November 9th.
It looks so fucking good.
looks pretty good, I would say.
Yeah.
It looks incredible. Some of the screenshots that they would show, they just looked photorealistic. And then they're like, hey, guess what? This is the game. And they would just cut to the car zooming by. And it just jaw-droppingly gorgeous. This is going to sell console.
It's so pretty.
I need it inside me. November 9th. It's coming this year.
It's soon, yeah. I'm surprised. Didn't I say not too long ago? I was like, I don't think it'll be this year.
Yeah, and you were
late.
shooting it down so hard. You're like, if there's
I
one
was
thing I'm sure about,
convinced.
it's that Horizon is not happening this year.
It just didn't seem right. But no, I'm really glad I was wrong. Look, I can admit when I'm wrong, and I'm glad that I was wrong because I fucking love Horizon.
Yeah.
Hey, it could still change.
Yeah, well,
Don't you put that
So
evil
can
on us.
everything.
Dude, you got to put all that evil on anything that says it's coming out in 2021. But
they could.
I
they
feel
could
like-
pull a holiday on us, but
yeah, I feel like if they're saying that now, it's a pretty solid chance. But you never know.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good for this year. I'm excited. I am beyond excited for Horizon 5. The Horizon games are my favorite series. I just found out you can still apparently buy Forza Horizon 2 on the Xbox 360.
Yeah.
wow,
Neat.
Yeah, I thought that was delisted.
I thought so too.
But
That's
no,
what
the
they wanted
Xbox
you to
360 version is still sitting there for $30, and I just bought it last night, not realizing it was still available. So I grabbed it and started playing it. I never played the 360 version, so yay for me. I have a new Horizon to play. That'll hold me over. And then Phil Spencer was on stage recapping the event, saying, of course, Xbox is the best place to play. And then
He would say that.
one more thing. Cole, do you want to talk about this one?
Jackie
No.
Chan's grandfather came on.
Don't put me
I
on
don't
the
know.
spot
It
like
looked
that. I was about to take a drink of water.
Redfall from Arcane is coming summer 2022, and it is full of vampires.
Yeah, it's like Left 4 Dead with vampires. It looks okay. Whatever. Let's go.
I thought it looked good.
Damn. Someone
Yeah, no,
hates this game.
No, I don't hate it. It just didn't make much of an impression on me.
That I can understand, yeah.
Okay, hold on. I can't have this Redfall slander.
It
First
looks
it-
like any
first
other
it was the
fucking
Division.
co-op. Like
Now it's Redfall.
it looks like literally nothing special.
I'm
right
so
now.
fucking excited. The guy had a crow on his shoulder. I love crows. The moment there's a crow.
Oh, there's a
There you
crow.
go.
Okay, 10 out of
Yeah,
10 if there's a
I'm
crow.
like, here's
Crow
$70
showed up.
I will
Can you
give
pet the
whatever
crow?
you want. It
Can you
rides
pet
on
the
your
crow?
fucking shoulder.
But can you pet it?
You can send it out to do things because that's what he did.
But can you pet it?
Pet
I
it.
fucking hope so. I hope you can give it little crow treats and be like, you want a little dried up maggot? Have a little dried up maggot. And then it'd be a happy little crow.
There you go. And that's how it responds.
Funny enough, the only thing I know about Redfall is that it was developed in Austin, where I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And somehow I don't know anybody that worked on it. Like,
You need
it's
to
weird.
expand your friendship circle.
No, that's the thing, is like I thought I knew all
I know
the game
everyone
devs.
in Austin, so
Yeah, well, I mean, I helped start the video game cover like scene here. So I've met like all these people, and I didn't realize I had not met anybody that worked on this game. I don't think. We'll find out.
Now you'll have to change that.
You know, DNAs are going to lift now. I'm sure I'm going to end up finding out somebody I barely know is like, hey, like I worked on. I will update if that happens.
But yeah, that
I
was.
don't know how you can look at it and be like, I'm not excited. She fucking loaded the gun with telekinesis, though.
I don't know. It's just
So cool.
Oh, well, it's not going to be for everyone. Something that will be for everyone. Xbox mini fridges are coming this holiday.
That's not for everyone.
everybody
That's not
needs
for everyone.
refrigeration.
I love
Even the
one.
Hey,
very
I'm in
tall.
Texas. We're going to need some.
Even the
If
very
you have
tall.
the electricity to run it.
I can't help it. I love
Exactly.
the mini fridge thing. I love that it stemmed because of like Twitter just being Twitter and not actually being a toxic cesspool for a change. And that it was just, they were like, hey, if we win this best tweet contest, we'll make the mini fridges for everybody. And then they actually fucking did it.
Is that where that stemmed from?
Yes.
Well, okay, I can give respect for that. Shit.
Yeah, because they sent some. Everybody was like, when the Series X was announced, you have to go way back. When the Series X was announced, people were like, "Oh, it looks like a fridge," and they were like photoshopping it onto fridges, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they sent some actual full ass Xbox fridges, full size ones, to some influencers to hype it up because
With The
fuck,
Rock and Snoop Dogg and
yeah, like if they're gonna have a meme, they might as well lean into it, right? So they
Mhm.
leaned into it, and then people were like, "Okay, so when's the mini ones coming out?" And some time went by, and people still kept bringing up the mini fridges, and then there was the contest, and they were like, "If we win, if we get voted best tweet, we'll make the mini fridges," and they did.
See, I can respect that. And at the same time, I don't know if I want one, but I'll consider it because mini fridges are freaking cool in and of themselves.
I would
I want one.
100% want one. Yeah.
I want one.
I have so
Where would
much
you put it?
craft and art shit.
I don't know.
on
In my
desk.
fucking room. I'll find somewhere for it. I have a 2-foot tall alien sitting behind me. I'm going to fucking find somewhere for a mini fridge.
It's like, I'm put it beneath the zombie shark. In your face.
Goddamn right. Zombie Shark's chilling on my desk right now. We got to move on. Square Enix conference. They started that bitch off with the Guardians of the Galaxy world premiere coming from Eidos Montreal, launching October 26th on Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. They showed off an extended behind the scenes video and gameplay segment. I don't care about this game.
This was this was the moment where I was glad that I had missed them live and I could just fast forward. It was also the second disappointing trailer I'd seen using that same song in 2 days. It looks fine. It's like a third-person action comic-y book game, but boy, did they go on about it.
Yeah.
Like that was an unnecessarily long segment.
The
Yeah.
thing about it was the cinematic trailer. I was like, okay, I'm interested. And then they showed the gameplay, and I was like, never mind. I just go play Telltale. It was better, and did the same thing.
Oh, well.
Well, sounds like we won't be going on too long about it.
All right,
Yeah.
cool. Next.
After the extended segment of Guardians of the Galaxy, they got my hopes up. They announced the Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster series. Final Fantasy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pixel perfect remakes coming to Steam and mobile.
To be sold separately, and the
Whoa.
redrawn
Fucking
pixels
mobile.
that I saw don't even look that great, so it's like wah wah.
Hey, the Dragon Quest ones eventually came out on Switch, so
That's true.
I think it'll happen.
I hope so.
Probably.
I'm looking forward to it. The only thing that makes me sad is like it's still having people were complaining about like another re-release, and all I could come up with was like the sad reality. This is probably the best we're going to get of like some kind of like updated 5 and 6 that wasn't those freaking.
I was gonna say it's not those, and plus it's going to be Final Fantasy IV. That's not the terrible DS remake.
What was wrong with the DS remake?
That was fine.
Yeah, have you ever tried to play the DS remake?
I liked it.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Different things. It wasn't an abomination.
It had good stuff like voice acting and whatnot, but it's impossible to play, and you have to learn about tattoos.
I thought the Final Fantasy IV remake on the PSP?
Yeah.
I thought that one was fantastic.
That's
I would love to see more like that.
Yeah. Freaking follow-up sequel. That was one of those where, like, even if you didn't like it, like the fact that they even so much is like, we can try to do this, because that was before like 10.2 was a thing.
They should do it one step further and make it like a pixel perfect recreation of the WiiWare that's now like gone forever.
Poor WiiWare.
Yeah, they tried to charge like $20 for it, didn't they? Or was it 15?
Like it was unnecessarily expensive.
Yeah.
I wish I would have bought it now, but I totally understand why I didn't.
Yeah, you're okay with yourself over that one.
Yeah.
Not on Game Pass. Not interested. Next.
Legend of Mana is hitting June 24th on PS4, Switch, and PC. So
yes.
That's right around the corner.
If you want a physical version, PlayAsia is doing pre-orders for them, and it seems to be the only place doing it.
Ooh,
yeah,
I might have to then.
Get over there. My one friend who really wanted to get a physical game pre-ordered it from there. So
I'm gonna use this as an opportunity to give the game another chance. So hopefully it resonates to be better than the last time. But the art was always great with that game, that and the music.
Yeah, I actually missed it entirely, so I'm going to totally pick it up myself and see how it is.
Well, after that, they showed off some new content and a new mission for the Avengers, and then they showed off War for Wakanda coming to the Avengers. And then my notes for the next batch of games just says, Nier for mobile, more Final Fantasy mobile stuff, more Final Fantasy mobile stuff, Final Fantasy 7 something, mobile game, fuck you.
What about Chaos?
How you really feel?
Oh, we'll get to Chaos. Next up, they showed off Babylon's Fall from Platinum Games, hitting PS4, PS5, and Steam. Didn't look very fun, and the voice acting turned me off big time. They had interviews about the game that I'm ignoring because the game really didn't interest me.
Ooh.
I mean, like, this sounded like it was everyone's least favorite presentation of E3, so...
And I thought Koch Media and Gearbox were the worst.
Fair enough.
They showed off the Life is Strange Remastered collection hitting September 30th. Showed off more
time they remastered it. What have we been waiting for 20 years?
I love Life is Strange, but they are milking it.
They are.
Life is Stranger.
Yeah, this isn't even the last time it's going to come up on this show.
No, it's not.
Life is strained.
Life is Strange. Life is Strange True Colors is going to be hitting September 10th. The Ultimate Edition of the game will include Life is Strange Remastered. And then they capped off the show with Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin, a brand new project. We talked about this rumored a while back between Square Japan and Team Ninja.
I think this is the one where you play as Garland and you're supposed to knock everyone down.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I've honestly just accepted that this is a game that might end up being fun to play because of Team Ninja's involvement, and it does have some RPG elements, but I can't help but make fun of everything else. This game
Team Ninja brought Metroid Other M to life, so I mean, they're not infallible.
True.
But like, I mean,
there is a demo out.
Yeah, demo available on PS5.
Boy, did it the main characters and kind of tone of that not be what I thought it was going to be at all.
There's already drywall punching freaking like meme images crafted for the thing. It hasn't been 2 days.
One word. Chaos.
The biggest surprise with this game is it is not a PlayStation exclusive. All the rumors were that it was going to be PlayStation exclusive. It is hitting Xbox as well and PC. And
Neo Geo Pocket.
Yes.
That's what I'm most excited for. I'm looking forward to that shit.
Maybe Wonder Swan. They'll get an 8-bit demake.
They don't need any more games. They got tons of games coming out this year.
Yeah, true. Everything ends up on the Bandai Wonder Swan.
Anyway, that was the Square show. There was a Capcom show that sucked. I'm not going to get into that. Way Forward had a couple of announcements. All 5 Shantae games are going to be hitting the PS5 through limited run games. The original Shantae will also release physically and digitally on PS4. River City Girls 2 was announced for all platforms. And River City Girls 0 was announced for the Switch and other platforms later.
The long-awaited prequel.
Yeah, that's a super fucking Famicom game right there.
Yeah. And then Blood Rain Betrayal Fresh Bites was announced for all platforms.
Which is cool, because that was a cool game.
Is it a reboot of the original?
It's a re-release of Blood Rain Betrayal on the 360 PS3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some Vert guy did the music. It sucks.
Oh, the 2D game. Okay.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun. I'm glad that's coming back.
Why do they keep giving that guy work? Just kidding. I love Vert. He's amazing.
We all love Vert.
Final big event of the weekend festivities was the Nintendo Direct that happened today.
Actual big event,
that was my baby right there.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That was my baby.
Yeah, as the podcast comes alive.
Caffeine's kicking in at last, boys.
It's only been an hour. Things are picking up, an hour and a half.
Well, I mean, that was kind of people's opinion of the weekend, really. It
really was. Like I've seen a lot of people make the claim of Nintendo saved E3. And while I'll admit I wasn't trying to be that guy, I will admit that most of what I liked ended up coming out of their event.
Yeah,
that I came across. So I can't not.
I thought Microsoft had a great event. I thought Microsoft did really good.
Hey, no one's saying they had a bad event. And also, like he just said, of course you'd say that. But no one's saying that Microsoft had a bad event, but Nintendo had a good event.
Nintendo did have a good event. They started things off by announcing Kazuya from Tekken is joining Smash Brothers.
By him fucking everybody off of a cliff.
Threw everyone off a fucking cliff.
That was really funny.
I actually had people seriously saying at this point, like, I don't understand why they would choose him. He doesn't fit. I'm like, now he does. After freaking, like, Terry and Ryu. Like, I already felt like it'd be cool if they got, like, one representative from, like, a lot of the major fighting game franchises. Like, hey, they're in there somehow. And with him being in there, it's like, now I'm like, I want a Guilty Gear rep. But it'll probably be fucking Soul Bad Guy, so maybe I don't.
I want Scorpion. Get Scorpion in there.
I would love Scorpion.
Get over here.
Scorpion gets over here.
I love to even see do the PG version of them too. Just be like his fatality, just like him ripping like a pixelized spine out of someone's back, but doesn't do anything.
Well, he does the flaming skull thing. I think they could get away with that in Super Smash.
Yeah, they could get away with that.
Oh, touche.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Nintendo then announced that Life is Strange Remastered and True Colors are both hitting the Switch.
Finally, after 20 years, Life is Strange is
Finally, they're going to update those graphics to Switch level.
Yeah. They confirmed Guardians of the Galaxy was going to show up on the...
I've been waiting for this.
It's going to release on the Switch in a cloud version, kind of like Hitman is on cloud streaming.
And Control, yeah.
I didn't realize Control was on Switch. That's interesting.
Yep. Yeah, it works pretty well.
I think it's a streamer. It streams, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's what we just said, Pernell.
Yeah, cloud.
Come on.
Hey, I'm pouring Mountain Dew, okay? Cut me some slack.
I'm drinking Mountain Dew Baja Flash.
From your child.
I got one more Dew USA.
I'm going to get me a Coke.
Worms Rumble is hitting June 23rd.
Now, is that a game that's already out and it's just coming to that, or is this brand new?
Yes, it's on PlayStation already.
Okay.
We reviewed it on this podcast.
Probably.
Where did you
I don't
remember.
Somebody did.
It was you.
It was not me, actually. I didn't want to review it. Not that
it was cold.
Worms. Might have been.
No, she doesn't have PlayStation. Anyway, Astria Ascending is coming September 30th. 2 Point Campus is hitting next year, and then I'm excited about this one.
Hang on a second. hang on a sec. Sorry, before you... Is that the... Oh, that's not the game I thought. Okay, anyways, continue. Go on. What are you excited about?
Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania is hitting October 5th. It includes Super Monkey Ball 2, and Monkey Ball Deluxe, all remastered in the package.
Hells yeah.
Dude,
I love the original Monkey Ball.
I know this whole presentation was very much about, like, digging into about 15, 20 years ago. Like, really. And I'm totally there for it.
Oh, I know, because the next game they showed off was Mario Party Superstars, which includes 5 boards from the N64 era and 100 mini games from across the series.
Featured Mushroom. Good.
It comes out October 29th. Pre-orders open today, and it has online play.
Yeah,
I'm buying it. Nice. It has Mushroom Mix-Up on it. I'm sold.
Yeah, I'll buy the shit out of that one. That one looks great.
And the fact that it has online finally is like, so many people out there are like, I can finally fucking play these games again.
Well, they added online to Super Mario Party.
Yep.
Yeah. In that case, then I'm going back to that then too, because it's just sitting there.
Yeah, they added online to it, so you could go do that. Next game was probably the game of the weekend for everybody that isn't me, who wanted Forza instead. No, I'm excited about this one as well. I lost my mind. Metroid 5. Metroid Dread.
Metroid Portal.
My notes here say Metroid Dread / Metroid 5 / oh my god, it's happening. It's 2D, October 8th. Oh my god. Amiibo figures I need.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah.
Good fucking luck. I've already missed them twice today. And once I was within 2 minutes of it going up.
Damn.
It sold out so fucking fast.
Ooh.
I did get to pre-order that shitty looking special edition, which I did because I'm a freaking mark. But I'm hoping that art book is what carries it, is that it's a big, thick art book, because that thing is $90 fucking dollars. Anyways, the game is made by Mercury Steam, who made Samus Returns, which I didn't honestly love, but this game, and I watched the Treehouse stuff about it, looks a lot better, in my opinion. Like, the movement looks a lot smoother. They've refined some things. They've added some new movements. Like, you'll notice when she's running, if there's just like a brief low wall, she'll slide under it. You can do the counter melee thing from a dash now, which is awesome. But yeah, there's these giant robots that chase your ass around like Mr. X. Like, that's the Dread, apparently.
Yeah.
So I am just like, whenever a Metroid game comes into existence, it is a special moment. And especially this one that, like, you know, was in existence and was canceled and then never happened. And then like Metroid Prime 4, which went into the ether, and then fucking Federation Freedom Force from a few years ago.
Let's not talk about that one.
That made everyone sad. So like, this is
Freedom.
Awesome and exciting and makes me very happy.
And I want the amiibo.
But good fucking luck with that.
I'm hoping my friend at GameStop can keep me posted when their shit goes live in store.
It already did.
Did it?
In store, yeah.
What?
I don't know about in store, but it did on the web, the online, yes. Sorry.
Well, she didn't tell me anything about it, so hopefully it didn't go live in stores. Hopefully I still have a shot at it. I know I was able to get the Skyward Sword amiibo fairly easy.
Yes, I did get that one, but yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, Just Dance 2022 is hitting November 4th. Cruisin' Blast is hitting this fall as a console exclusive on the Switch.
Cruisin' is back.
Back again.
God.
Dragon Ball Z Kakarot is hitting the Switch on September 24th, and then Mario Golf, they showed off some new features. That's hitting next week. I can't wait for that one. Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruin hits July 9th with a demo coming June 25th, same day as Mario Golf. And then they showed a new WarioWare game, WarioWare Get It Together, as a new 2-player mode, comes out September 10th.
Excited
that looks
about
great.
that one.
I mean, it says WarioWare on the box, so you buy it when it says WarioWare on the box. Really, it's pretty simple.
Yeah.
But yeah, being able to play that with my kid is going to be a fun time, I'm sure.
That looks pretty good.
Not. Or it'll be a horror show. Who knows?
I hate you, Daddy. Yeah, I hate you too. It's terrible.
We do that every day.
I'm never playing this with you again.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Shin Megami Tensei 5 is hitting November 12th, and then they announced all of the...
Whoa! You gotta be fucking kidding me! You gotta be fucking kidding me! Some of the shit you talked about, you're like, Shin Megami Tensei 5, I'm never gonna move on!
I thought you guys would be more excited about the next one, but okay, go ahead.
Well,
go ahead about Shin Megami Tensei 5.
I wouldn't. That game's been in freaking, like, development limbo from, like, the fan base perspective anyway for, feels like forever. And now it's finally got a...
Yeah, they announced that game when they announced the Switch. That was like one of the games they teased was Megaten 5. So it's been 4 years.
We've been fucking
this
waiting.
Is the first actual gameplay trailer for it.
And it looks good. It sounds fucking great.
Yeah, I am so excited.
And it's coming out this year. It is probably my game of the year, and it hasn't even fucking dropped yet. Yeah, don't even tempt fate like that. It's coming out.
Coming the week after Forza Horizon.
So the appetizer will be out the week before, and then the main course.
Main course. Maybe I'll find a secret car inside Shin Megami Tensei 5. Maybe I can summon a car.
I mean, it looks really nice. Like Megaten 4 was, a 3DS game, and even for being a Switch game, it looks real nice. And the little bits of the soundtrack I could hear sounded great. So,
and I thought it was funny because I was listening to the trailer and it was like checking out that one track that pops in the first minute after the first minute, and I was like, I wonder if this is like the new battle theme for the game. And sure enough, within like 40 minutes, someone had like ripped just that part, gave it a freaking title screen. Was like, it's on YouTube. Here's the new battle theme for the game. And like people were going shit, and then of course people were like, "This is a Persona 6," and the response was, "Shut up."
That's the correct response.
Like, I am looking so forward to this. People have no fucking idea. Well, they do now, but I can't wait for this game. For me, this and Psychonauts 2 are the games of the show, flat out. That's just that. So, okay, then unless Tim has more to say about it, you can now move on to whatever the other thing is you were going to talk about.
You may move on.
I thought you guys would be excited that all 3 of the Danganronpa games are coming to the Switch.
I'll admit I am, because I am now going to sell my fucking Vita copies for collector's wages and then buy it on the Switch. So that I'm happy about.
Yeah, all 3 original games are coming along with Danganronpa S Ultimate Summer Camp. The whole series is going to be on Switch.
And that is, honestly, I will admit, though, from the game purchaser perspective, this is a good thing because I'm not 100% sure on the PS4, but I need to double check. But I know on the Vita, at least, V3 sells for a stupid amount of money now. So for people who want to just have like a copy of it to just slap in a machine and have access to all the games without paying prices for them, it's nice that you can say, here's a game, pop it in, you're good. Plus, you don't have to worry about fucking faulty memory cards on the Switch because they're not proprietary. So that's another great thing.
I saw your Vita memory card died.
Yeah, fucking annoying. I have a second one because I had 2, but that just means it's on borrowed time, so I want to crack the shit out of it.
I'm worried about mine. I have one of the 64 gig.
Oh, that means you're probably in even more danger because that was the one that people used to talk about going bad first.
Yeah. Mine's still working though, so who knows? After that though was one of the big surprises of the weekend for me. Fatal Frame Maiden of Blackwater is coming to the Switch.
I will say I was extremely happy to hear that too, because it feels like they're finally remedying a mistake of the Wii U in that regard, because it originally released as like an episodic game and was download only. I hated that concept for that game.
Yeah,
it deserved better.
The big surprise is that it is also confirmed for Xbox and PlayStation.
That's a good thing. And honestly,
it was Nintendo only for a while there, and now it's going to be hitting all platforms again.
And Nintendo I probably will get it for another platform. And I'll be buying it probably on one of those other 2 platforms, unfortunately. But guess what? I'll be playing it.
They showed off Doom Eternal's first DLC expansion is hitting today. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 is hitting June 25th. The game Strange Brigade from Rebellion is out today, Shantae.
I believe it or not, I started getting really excited. I was like, oh, cool, this is like a cool game. I was like, wait a minute. Didn't we review that game on another console? So, I got to go back and like find that episode and give it a double check, because now I want to know what the hell it's all about before dumping money into it. but I liked what it sounded like the gameplay would be, so I am legit curious about it.
Cool. Well, after that, they showed off Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope. We got another look at that. And then yet another surprise, Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp is coming December 3rd.
Yeah.
That brought such mixed feelings, I swear it did. Such mixed feelings.
It's going to have the campaigns from the first 2 games. You could pre-order it today, and it's made by Way Forward, which is pretty cool.
Oh.
I think the most important thing for me to just get through it is just the fact that it at least shows that they still give a shit about the franchise. And that might have to be enough, because I was hoping for a new game, but considering that we've just been Fire Emblem Mania for the past fucking 10 years.
Was the Advance Wars that was on the Wii, wasn't that just a remake of the GameCube game?
Wasn't that Battalion Wars?
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, the Wii version was Battalion Wars, and that was a whole nother meat and potatoes box.
Well, that was Battalion Wars 2.
Ooh, the sequel. But the last Advance Wars, the game that we got was Days of Ruin on the DS. Not the DS 3DS, just the DS. And that was a while ago. Just the DS. So people have been waiting for a new Advance Wars for a while, which is where a lot of the mixed feelings came from. But hopefully what this means is that this does well. In typical gamer hope fashion, that results in a new one made because people seem to be interested again.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm for something that struck me completely off guard and made me almost lose my shit. It was this. When it said the Orange Star Army, I was like, wait a second, because just last week I was commenting on that very thing, how it felt like Advance Wars was abandoned for Fire Emblem, that Fire Emblem 1, they're just going to make Fire Emblem, and who cares about Advance Wars? So just seeing that and seeing it come back to life is just really exciting, even if it is just a remake. Hopefully it leads to them doing more, with the franchise moving forward, but it tends
to be how they do it. They remake something, and if that sells, then they start working on...
Yeah, you put out the feeler.
And I'll be honest, by the way, I know there might be some people out there who's man, it looks way too damn cartoony. But from my perspective, that's pretty much what Advance Wars is. 'Cause I used to always make jokes about how that whole game franchise was about two generals, usually under the age of 18, pitting their armies against each other to the battles to the death over shit hey, my cannons are better than your tanks. Prove it. Okay, well... Go die,
isn't
guys.
That what real war is?
Go die, guys.
What it is. But they really went and they doubled down on the animation aspects of it. Everybody's cartoony reactions to stuff happening. I was I like this. I like this a lot. So I am ready for that at least. It's a day one buy, no problem, no doubt about that.
And I think it's in good hands with Way Forward. So.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I like them. I like that Nintendo's at a current level of desperation that's what they're digging into their pocket for, because that means some fun stuff is going to come out. You did a lot on the Switch already, so now you got to go back deep, boys, deep.
How are we gonna make $1 million?
We're getting a new King's Knight, kids.
Yeah, Golden Sun. Come on now.
Oh God, I love Golden Sun back.
There's a revival need there because what was it? Didn't Dark Dawn kind of get a little bit of a lackluster reception?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know.
Anyway, they moved on to the Legend of Zelda portion of the program.
What's that?
They showed off some content from the Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity expansion pass. The first bit is hitting June 18th, second in November. They showed off a little more Skyward Sword HD coming out July 16th, and they showed off the Joy-Con controllers and the Amiibo, which, again, I'm excited about the Amiibo. A fun little surprise here, Legend of Zelda Game & Watch.
Yeah.
They're just like the Mario one they released recently. They are releasing a Zelda one November 12th for $49.99. And it includes fully playable versions of Zelda, Zelda 2, and Link's Awakening, and a special version of Vermin with Link.
But not the Game & Watch Legend of Zelda game.
Yeah, no. That would not make sense.
Was there a Game & Watch Zelda?
Yeah.
Plus, if you think about it, they're including 2 more games in that. They're including Legend of Zelda Second Quest and Money Making Game. which is the game that Nintendo is always playing.
Yeah.
And they always seem to fucking win, except with the Wii U.
They know the cheat code to it.
Yeah. They didn't hook me with that last Game & Watch, and if they think by just putting out a Zelda one they're gonna get my money, they are absolutely fucking correct.
I already had one friend try to claim, you better buy it, it's going to sell for $500 in like a year. I'm like, I don't know, but I don't know, maybe I'll end up getting it. Who knows? It might be my first Game & Watch.
Maybe. Don't get it at GameStop. My buddy at GameStop posted a picture that the pre-order deposit is $49.99. It's you got to pre-order in full.
That
I
is
actually
price.
did that.
The item.
I did that at Best Buy.
Yep, same. Yep.
Nice.
Same thing, the full price.
Yep.
Oh, man. Anyway, final show of the event was Breath of the Wild sequel footage shown coming 2022.
Hopefully.
Allegedly.
Perhaps.
I don't think they're going to delay a Zelda game.
You don't know. They would. Then they'd have the guy come on screen. We apologize. And then they'll go like, hey, here's a Game & Watch Zelda Link to the Past edition to make up for it. That's what they'll do.
I think the last time a Zelda game didn't come out right on time was Zelda 2, because that got delayed.
You even remember that?
They delayed Breath of the Wild.
Did they?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know it was supposed to be out.
I feel like every Zelda game gets delayed, but it always takes more time for them to work on it.
They'll just apologize. That's all they'll do. It'll be fine because it's Nintendo. They'll get away with it. So that's the thing. Like ultimately, what it ends up being, that's the one thing about them, though. They built that reputation where it's like they make good. Generally, they make releases that are like high quality standards. So if they're like, we have to delay it, people generally just respond with, you only get one good release, so they're making sure, and it works.
Which is not quite true nowadays, but kind of true.
Yeah. I mean, the wording he used was aiming for 2022. It's just like, it's 2021 and you're aiming for by 2022 like that. But
we just started on it.
Yeah.
We've got a title, but it's a secret.
Oh, shit. We had to start that, didn't we? Oh, God, guys.
But hey, Link becomes a puddle, so that's cool, I guess.
Well, the speculation, and there's shit in the sky. The speculation is that time travel will have a element in this game. People seem to have sussed out from looking at the trailer. But we'll see.
They're going to time travel so that the game's on time.
Yeah. It released in 2023, but then you start up the game and you end up back in 2022.
It would be great if it'd be great if Nintendo utilized time travel to like meet their ends and stuff. They're like, we learned it from the way you guys play Animal Crossing.
Yeah, this time hopping. Oh man, but yeah, that was E3. That was all the big news from the weekend, from the event. Anybody have any other thoughts they want to throw in before we dive into reviews?
We've gone 2 hours, so I'll keep this brief, but there was also a lot of other events and presentations going on over the weekend from like Wholesome Games and
we
Day
just
of the Dead.
Barely scratched the surface.
We skimmed it, and I highly recommend looking out to those stuff because there was tons of cool looking indie games that were announced all over the place. So
what are some of your highlights that you want to shout out?
Sir, there is a game called, I'll do 3. Okay. The Gecko Gods, which was in Wholesome Games, which is like an adventure game where you're a gecko, puzzle adventure game. Arcade Paradise, which is a faux retro game collection where you are also turning a laundromat into an arcade. And Lakeburg Legacies, which is like a, I don't know, fucking Jane Austen, like, turn of the century England, like matchmaking, like property management simulation thing, which is like right up my wife's alley. But yeah, lots of neat stuff.
Pernell, any other shout outs for you?
Honestly, I wish I did. I know I need to get in some more stuff on this because like I wasn't getting at the beginning when I said like I do look forward to E3 becoming a normal show again because it was really hard to keep up with that thing online. And just it was a shadow of its former self. Like it was like beginner's Reddit on there. Not great. But I am glad that it is back up and moving again. even though I did make a comment earlier about how I was like, am I just becoming old and jaded because nothing's really, I'm not excited anymore? It doesn't mean I didn't like a lot of stuff that I saw. There were some good announcements, and I think all of us can agree that between the likes and the dislikes, we're going to be playing quite a few games that got announced over this weekend, over the next couple of months to years. So.
Or at least buying them and putting them on our shelves.
I'm going to be playing Mushihime-sama, which just came out today.
Yeah, I heard that. Jesus. God,
as soon as my Switch can download it.
Yeah, I got to get on my eShop here after the show.
I'm considering that too.
I don't know if anybody else plays or downloads as many gosh darn Switch games as I do, but has anybody had trouble with with
somebody was telling us recently that there was an update for the firmware for the Switch and it forked downloads.
Yeah, I was downloading a Disc A6 for review, and it just kind of like halted, and I was like, I'm going to download it so when I have time I can play it. And then I picked up when I had time to play it, and it was like, It took me a day and a half to download Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance. It did download eventually.
I can't remember the last time I did buy something, but I didn't have any experience like that. But now you got me worried. Now I got to boot it up to check.
I mean, I imagine they'll be fixing it soon, but just something. It still works. It's just acting a little wackadoo.
Yeah. But so I just bought that because it just came out today, and somebody asked. Yes, it is a shmup. It's one of the ultimate shmups. It's like it's the one that got me into bullet hells. So
yeah, it is
just good shit.
Yeah, Mushihime-sama is like the cave shooter par excellence. Like,
the only one I'm not sure about. The only reason I'm not sure about it is because I had a friend who was the one that mentioned to me that he made a claim that there was like a triple pack that got released overseas, and now I'm wondering if that means we might see that. I don't know, but
we might. They sure have released a lot of shmups over in Japan that they have yet to release over here. But just make a Japanese account and figure out how to find the titles. You can use Google Translate on your phone to like aim the camera at Japanese character letters, and it'll translate them for you. That's how I do it.
I'll have to give that a shot, man. I've never done that before.
Yeah, it's a free app. It's really, really handy for if you want to play like a Japanese game that doesn't have too much text. And yeah, it takes over your camera, so when you point it at something, it just starts kind of reading the letters and translating them to English. But then if you move it too fast, it like starts mistranslating it. But it works good enough. Anyway.
It'll get you through some RPG battle menus.
Yeah, exactly.
Chris, did you have any final thoughts on E3?
No, that was it. Mushihime-sama. Just wanted to give that a shout out.
All right,
and yeah,
Cole,
I pre-ordered the Zelders.
You pre-ordered Zelders?
We didn't talk about how Bandai Namco did a conference, and it was just one trailer for House of Ashes. That was it. That was the whole thing.
Didn't Gearbox do the same shit though?
I don't know. I didn't watch Gearbox.
And then Warner Brothers was only Back for Blood.
Wait, Bandai Namco is also doing Elden Rings, isn't it?
Yeah, but their event that they did was only House of Ashes.
Just the trailer for House of Ashes.
Oh, okay.
So we got nothing to prove. Watch this and get out.
House of Ashes does look great, though.
All right, should we dive into reviews then? Because we still have a lot of games to talk about tonight.
Probably should.
Sure.
All right, first game to review tonight is called Guilty Gear Strive, developed and published by Arc System Works, released June 11th on PS4, PS5, and PC for $59.99. The cutting-edge 2D, 3D hybrid graphics pioneered in the Guilty Gear series have been raised to the next level in Guilty Gear Strive. The new artistic direction and improved character animations will go beyond anything you've seen before in a fighting game. Tim, tell us about your time with Guilty Gear Strive.
Oh man, if we were all in the same room with me, you could smell the smell of the game. You would know the smell of the game, which is I'll say the best fighting game intro music since Indestructible for Street Fighter 4. Yeah, Guilty Gear Strive. So this game's fucking awesome. This is the follow-up to Zerd, which I didn't end up. I guess I was kind of late to the party on. Because by the time I got my hands on it, I was getting my hands on Revelator. After I'd had a PS4 for a couple of years, and at that point it had already been out for a couple of years. But anyways, so this game builds on that game and kind of the fancy trick of Guilty Gear Zerd, which was like, hey, this is a 2D fighting game, but like, well, I guess like most of Dragon Ball Fighters did this too, where, yeah, it's a 2D fighting game, but the characters are 3D models that just look exquisite, and appear to be 2D. And like the graphics in this game are incredible. Like the characters, the animations, the moves just look so goddamn good. It just looks fantastic. And apparently it is actually I played it on PS5. It is actually a PS5 version of the game. It's not just like a PS4 version running on PS5 like some recent releases have been. It is actually a PS5 native version. So it looks real good. Looks real nice. Just top to bottom, like all the characters really pop out on the screen. Like they're all very distinct from one another. The backgrounds all look really cool. And yeah, just the animations and of the super moves and stuff, it just looks so goddamn good when like the camera zooms in and moves around as crazy crap is happening on the screen. They really did some pretty awesome work from a graphical standpoint. Fortunately, I also find the game very fun to play as well. Guilty Gear is kind of a notoriously complicated fighting game to play and get into at a high level, and this is also that, but I really feel like they went out of their way to try to get more casual players in. I've heard that some things were simplified. I can't really speak to that myself, because it surely still has tons of cancels and Roman cancels and just lots of complicated stuff going on. But past the tutorial, there is like a mission mode that I think does a really good job of introducing not just like the moves you can do in the game, but the concepts that you need to apply in order to like get good, as it were. Like it teaches you things about zoning and using your neutrals and double jumping and just like a hit stun and what's safe on block. Things like that, along with like, yeah, how your 4 different colored Roman cancels all work. That stuff. And how the dust button works, which is a button called dust, but has different functions that aren't throwing dust in your opponent's eyes, nor does it make appointments for you. It can be used as like a launcher or a sweep attack or a throw, depending on the context in which you hit it. But on top of all that, like if you're in like training mode, actually in any mode with a character, and you go to look at the command list for a character, it will tell you like, these are the command normals, these are their special moves, these are their super moves. But beyond just saying like, well, these are the inputs, it will have like a little, small video showing you what the move is. And then there will be text explaining to you like what the move does and what it is good for. Like this move, there's a move that Potemkin has, who is the big, like, brawly grappler dude. And kind of one of the big things with him, he has a command throw that does a fucking shitload of damage. It does almost half a health bar if you can hit it. So a lot of his strategy could be based around, like, just trying to set up to hit that command throw, because you hit one, or if you hit 2 of those, basically you won the round. If you hit 1, you've done quite a bit of business. But he has one move that is like a fiery hand blast attack, and like they're like, okay, well, if you hit somebody with this, it will stun them long enough, and at this range you can hit the Potemkin Buster. However, the startup for it is very slow, so it's hard to hit with if it's not timed correctly. Or just like at a basic level, like every character has some command normals. Like they'll have one that will act as an overhead attack if you press forward and kick, and it will say, actually, no, not that. No, the one I want to use for an example is the launcher, or anti-air. That's what it is. It's forward and square, where it says you use this move and you have upper body invincibility, so therefore it's good for an anti-air. Just a simple anti-air. This is what it is. This is what it does. And that is good stuff to tell people, not just like, okay, here are the moves, and then you use them and you're like, okay, but saying like, okay, here's the move and this is what it is good for. This is what you should be how you should be working towards applying it into your game. Your game of fighting with Guilty Gear Strive. So this game has arcade mode, some local single player stuff like an arcade mode, which is, fun to just go through with a character. It's like 8 stages long, like a survival mode, pretty normal stuff like that. The mission mode, like I mentioned, there is a story mode in this game. This game has a substantial amount of story and lore content for someone to digest. The animated story, and when I say animated story, I mean it is fully animated. It's not like a story mode in another fighting game where it's like, okay, you'll see some cutscenes and then there will be a fight. This is a 5-hour anime in this game. Yeah, that is the story of Guilty Gear Strive, which I learned a lot about the lore of Guilty Gear. I did not realize it was based in like the real world. It has a whole timeline of the events of Guilty Gear, which starts in 1945 when the United Nations was formed. And then you get to 1999 when the Assassin's Guild was formed and magic was discovered and technology was outlawed. You all remember that happening in 1999, right?
It was a wild time.
Yeah, it was wild, and things got nothing but wilder. And the story of these games takes place over like hundreds of years, a couple hundred years into the future. But it has a whole timeline to explain all the events that are relevant to the story. It has like infographics of different points in the story, like representing, generally speaking, like the different entries in the franchise that will like show the character relationships that exist in those games. And then also like, a 5-hour anime for the story. So there's a lot of content there. Just like there's a 5-hour movie in this game to sit and watch. It's not dubbed. It's just subtitled, but
yeah, that's pretty crazy to have that.
But you can if you're watching it and you just want to stop and quit out of it, it saves your place. Like it saves where you are, and then you can just hop right back in when you're ready to keep watching. It's not like you have to watch a chapter at a time. It's just nope. It knows exactly where you are to the line in the scene. But of course, kind of the backbone of this game is the online play, which it follows kind of the model of recent Arc Systems games where they have like this kind of animated online lobby system where you go in there and you have an avatar and you see other players like running around, and you can, in this case, they have like little stations set up. So you go up to a station, then you can say, I'm ready to fight. Or if someone's already there, like it'll show a little pixelated portrait of their character and you can challenge them to a match. So it has that lobby system. It's like this pixelated 2D thing. It's improved from where it was in the beta, because in the beta it didn't even have like the battle stations. It was kind of like this weird free-for-all, but they made that better. They added player rooms since the beta, which is something like custom player rooms is something I don't think they had. And, something you kind of need for getting tournaments together or just like getting together with your friends. They have it broken down into different floors. Well, there's different regions, so you pick the region closest to you, but then there's like a tower with different floors, and then like if you suck ass like me, they start you on the bottom floor and you have to work your way up. You can go to any floor you want at any time, from floor like 1, like you can go to any floor above you, I guess I should say, though it might not be a good idea to go too high because people will fucking smoke your ass. But as you play and as you win, you will level up, and it will lock off the bottom floors of the tower to you. So you will have a progression that way. I am proud to say in my limited amount of time playing online that I have made it to level 3. I am not allowed in levels 1 and 2 anymore. So good for me, out of like 7 or 8 or something like that. But yeah, once you get in there and once you get paired to a match, like, man, the netcode in this game is so goddamn good. It's wild. Like, they're using a rollback netcode, which a lot of people in the fighting game community advocate for as being better for fighting games, which is a thing where it generally feels better when you're playing out on your end. But if things get a little like laggy, what happens is like your characters end up like teleporting around a little bit. I never saw any of that. Like in 90% of my games, like the fighting felt like basically like I was fighting someone like on the couch next to me. They show you how many frames of rollback you have at the top of the screen, as well as what your ping is. And for the most part, like my ping was like hovering around 50. My rollback frames were like well under 10, like maybe like 4 or 5, like very small. And it felt really good playing against people. I mean, sure, there was a couple matches that were like a bit laggy, but that was not the norm for sure. It was mostly like just really great feeling online matches, and that means that this game probably has a good chance of having some legs on it too.
Which is good to hear. Yeah,
there's DLC on the way, you know, a season pass and shit. They haven't announced any characters for it, unless you count like the leak that probably explained every character that's going to be in there. Though it's easy to guess, I think just from the kind of the story mode and the characters that are highlighted, like who might show up in it. There's a man. His name is, what is this guy's name? This is going to kill me. I can't remember it. Like Gold something Dickinson. He's like the vice president of the United States. He has a coffin on a chain with not an alien in it, even though it says Area 51 on it. He doesn't believe in aliens, so there's like a cryptid in it or something. Gold Lewis, that's his name. Gold Lewis Dickinson. He's like fucking 8 feet tall. Swinging around a coffin on a chain. So I'm really hoping that dude is in there. It seems like Jacko Valentine's gonna come back from Zerd.
I think that guy is the Secretary of State, not the Vice
Secretary
President.
of State. Excuse me. Pardon me.
Well,
Secretary
you know, I'm sorry. I'm into politics, so
yeah, the politics of guilty. He's a high-ranking government official, and yeah, he is hopefully going to be a character in the near future. There's like a couple other characters introduced in the story, like the main villain, and this character Asuka, who's apparently the one who like made the gears or something like that, like 200 years ago. I wouldn't be surprised if they showed up. But we'll see. They haven't announced any of them yet. They have let's see, as far as extra stuff, you gain currency, which you use in like this. It's not even a fishing mini game. It's just basically like a slot machine thing. You pay money and then you fish out items for your avatar or character colors or background music.
Overall, it sounds like a really awesome package.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a complaint.
Well, if you don't have one, you don't have to dig for one.
Yeah, I really don't. I am not a hardcore fighting game person, even though I've loved the genre for since the 90s, since I played Street Fighter 2. So I am not the foremost authority on it, but I can say that as someone who, when I think back to my history of fighting games, the ones sometimes I would play a fighting game and like it would just kind of like latch itself into my brain, and I wouldn't be able to kind of like stop thinking about it until I got to play it again, which is like what happened with like Street Fighter 2. It was just like I'd play it in the arcade at the mini golf place, and I'd be like, oh my god, I can't wait to go back and play more Street Fighter 2. Or like when Street Fighter Alpha 3 came out, I couldn't stop playing that, or Marvel vs. Capcom 2, or Soul Calibur 1 and 2, or Street Fighter 4, and like Guilty Gear fits that. Like that is like my mindset, is like I'm thinking about playing it more, like I'm watching videos at work, obviously when I'm on break.
Sure.
I'm smelling the game, I am listening to the smell of the game, I am I'll sit down and like, even if I don't have a lot of time, I'm just like, I got to get in a couple rounds of Guilty Gear. Like it's just a lot of fun to play. Like it just looks really good, feels really good. It's got a lot going for it.
Well then, for $60, what is your verdict?
Do not fuck this game. You should buy it. Like it seems like it's going to have legs. It's going to have support. Like it's already shipped 300 units, which I guess is something they're pretty happy about.
300,000.
300,000 sold. Yeah.
Not just 300. No.
Yes. No, 300,000. Sorry. 300,000 units sold.
Sold like 300 copies of the game.
Yeah. 300,000 sold over the weekend, which is pretty good for, not Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat fighting games. So,
and especially just limited platforms too. No Switch, no Xbox.
It's just on PS5
and PS4, PS5, and PC. Yep.
Yeah. Well, Xbox kind of has been left behind in in the fighting game world because Sony got that Street Fighter V exclusivity, and it's still the lead platform for fighting games. But yeah, I think it's absolutely worth buying. Like, I'm having a ton of fun with it. I could have delivered the same review, word for word, probably like, at some point last week, and I've still been playing it like every day.
All right. Well, that is it for you.
Ooh, long podcast. Yeah, I got to go to bed.
Yeah, no shit, long podcast. And we still have a lot more to go.
Yeah, have fun with that, guys. A lot of energy in the room.
Do you have any final words, Tim?
No, I don't.
Helpful.
I go nap.
Okay, bye.
Bye, nap. Have fun.
All right, next game to talk about is Neptunia Reverse, developed by Idea Factory, Compile Heart, and Felistella, published by Idea Factory International, released June 8th on PS5 for $49.99. Neptunia Reverse is an updated and enhanced version of the beloved RPG game Hyperdimension Neptunia Rebirth 1, originally released for the PS Vita. Fans of the Neptunia series and newcomers can enjoy the lush worlds of game industry with the help of the PS5 and new gameplay additions, including a fishing minigame. Pernell, tell us about your time with Neptunia Reverse.
I barely did any of that damn fishing minigame.
Wait a second, you gave him a fishing game, a game of fishing in it, and he didn't even play the fishing that much?
No, I played the minigame, but it was definitely like, it's basically like, hey, here's this thing. We just kind of slapped it in on the side, but it's not really in depth or anything. I'll talk about it.
You mean Idea Factory?
Always the most important part.
Yeah,
Idea
shocker,
Factory just
right?
threw in something like that and didn't fully flesh it out.
I know, what a shock, right? But so for like the one or two people who somehow are not in the know, the Hyperdimension Neptunia series has been around for like 10 years at this point, if not longer, because it originally started on the PS3. And Rebirth was a re-release pretty much a revisit completely of that first game on the PS3. And Reverse is that game done up in, glorious PS5 graphics and loading times. And it's interesting because originally when I learned about the game, which I didn't learn about until Joe offered the code, I thought it was great on Vita. Why the hell would I want to play it again? So I thought to compare the two games directly. So I went to boot up my PS Vita and learned the memory card died. But that was also when I realized I could just download the info from like the cloud or something. So I was able to compare the two directly. And this, as far as like visuals and like just visuals go, and even a lot of the music, it's a vast improvement. Like, it's this game, if you haven't played this game yet, this is definitely something that you'd want to look into. To me, it still holds up. The premise of the game is that you are pretty much controlling the character Neptune, who is the goddess Purple Heart, who leads one of the 4 communities of the world of game industry. Quick hit of tidbit information: Neptune and the other 3 goddesses that represent the goddesses of this world all are meant to represent various game consoles. And Neptune is pretty much really designed to be like a lost Sega console that didn't get made after the Dreamcast. So the Sega Neptune basically is what Neptune is. So they can kind of get a little ridiculous with her. But the idea here is that the goddesses are fighting for power over game industry. Some events occur resulting in Neptune getting ejected and getting, convenient memory loss. And now she's on an adventure with a bunch of random people that are also representatives of various game companies like Idea Factory and Compile Heart and Falcom and Mages, and pretty much if you can name a company, they're probably represented in here somewhere. But you're basically running around trying to make sense of what's going on and ultimately save the day. And it's nice because gameplay in this doesn't try to reinvent the wheel or anything like that. It's a fairly straightforward process. There's an overworld map where it had the 4 communities, and whatever dungeons you unlock will show up on it. You click on like one of the cities, you can purchase items, take on quests at the guild, talk to a bunch of random NPCs for items and just flavor text, and enter dungeons. And the dungeons are running around on a 3D map, and you have like enemies that roam free on there as well. And when you connect an attack with them, you trigger a battle. And the battles are also kind of 3D like open environment locations where enemies are placed. You can run around within the range of movement your character has. And when you reach an enemy to fight, you have an attack range for your weapon, which is based on the weapon you're equipped with. And once you decide you want to fight some enemies, you have 3 types of attacks. And this is me rambling because this is one of those kinds of games for that. You have rush attack.
This is the episode where we need a nice long rambly review.
I'll make this as quick as possible. I'm just going to describe the battle system and be like, okay, here's some fishing shit because Cole will kill me if I don't, and then I'll be good. So the battle system is essentially you have 3 types of attacks: rush, power, and break. Rush builds up a gauge that lets you use like finishing attacks and super moves. The power is just high-powered attacks, and break takes down enemies' guards. So break their guard, they're more susceptible to attacks like power moves or whatever. So you'll be kind of equipping new versions of those attacks and stringing them together to do damage to enemies. CPU characters can turn into their super powered CPU cells, which is basically like an alter ego with new equipment and stuff. And they're awesome fucking too. So as far as the game itself goes, I think it's a great deal of enjoyable fun. Like, the dialogue is very hilarious. The voice actors are great. Whoever did the voice work for Compa deserves money because she's fucking great. I genuinely still enjoy this game. Like, despite the fact that I originally played it on the Vita back in 2014 or whatever, I still like it today. It still holds up. And they added a fishing minigame. So the fishing minigame is literally like a place you can go on the map, and you can purchase a rod and bait from the store, and you throw the bait into the water. If you manage to catch the fish, it triggers an item that you can get potentially. But if you screw up the fishing, you have to fight a battle with whatever the fishing monster was. And that's fishing! Yay! There you go, Cole. The point is, the fishing is nice, but it ain't worth buying the damn game for. I barely cared about it. There is an arrange mode that they added to the game, which is pretty good for people who've already played through the game in the past, but want to experience it again on the PS5 with the load times and all, because it's essentially their normal game, but they give you literally every character immediately. And there are a lot of fucking characters in this game. There are more characters on here than I knew were in existence in the first place. I was shocked to see that many characters listed. But you can use them all at once with a battle party of 4. Each of those 4 having a swappable replacement character that you can team up with. You can basically have 8 party members in battle at once, out of a roster of like 20 or more. So you'll be swapping and choosing and whatever. It's ridiculous. All in all, I think the game is still personally holds up, and it's fun to play. Some of the references might feel a little dated to some people, but at the end of the day, gamer culture hasn't changed that fucking much. Yeah. So really, even though they might seem dated, you'll still get them and you'll still laugh. So whatever. Pick the damn game up. It's fun.
Well, $50 on it for newcomers and for Neptunia series veterans. What do you think on this one?
I'd say for newcomers, it's totally worth a shot for the buy. If you're not a newcomer, if you've played Neptunia once, twice, hell, 3 times maybe, maybe you tried in that regard. But if you're a Neptunia nut job,
you probably already have it.
You probably already have it. So there you go. Now, also, if Idea Factory's listening, I hope they do a Reverse 2 and a Reverse 3, because I'm not going to play Rebirth on my dying Vita. So bring them to the PS5 so I can play them there.
Bring them to Xbox too.
That would be good, actually. I feel like this game would do well on Xbox. They have an Xbox representative in the game, so
I know they refer to Xbox. Why don't they fucking appear on Xbox?
That's a good way.
Come on, Idea Factory.
Get on the Xbox. It makes sense.
Yeah, seriously. All right, next game to talk about is called Griftlands, developed by Klei Entertainment and Skymap Games, published by Klei Entertainment, released June 4th on Xbox One, PS4, and Switch for $19.99. Griftlands is a deck-building roguelite, where you fight and negotiate your way through a broken-down sci-fi world. Every decision is important, be it the jobs you take, the friends you make, or the cards you collect. Death comes quickly, but each play offers new situations and strategies to explore. Cole, did you get lost in this game?
I'm gonna have to uninstall it. It is a deck building card battling roguelike with almost like visual novel type elements where you have to like choose interactions between the characters to flesh out the story. And yeah, I got horribly addicted. I absolutely love these kind of games, and Griftlands is no exception. The game is up there in quality with like Slay the Spire and Pirates Outlaws for me, and that's a big deal because those are some of my most favorite games ever. Griftlands absolutely toes the line and fits right in with those. So if you're into those kind of games, you can stop listening to me now and just go ahead and go buy it. You're not going to be disappointed.
For everyone else, explain the game to us.
If you're on the fence, the game is a deck building, card battling roguelike. There are 3 different characters. You do have to unlock 2 of them. You start off with Sal, however, and Sal's campaign is kind of like your run-of-the-mill revenge story, if you will. So you're helping Sal, who has returned back to her home place, and she's been sent away to. I'm trying not to give spoilers. She's been sent away to work for 10 years as a slave ultimately, and she's paid her debt, she's earned her freedom, and she's back. And she's in this town full of cutthroats and con artists and just all this general. It's literally called Murder Bay. That's the town.
Subtle.
Yeah, like they're not shy about the kind of world they've created for these characters at all. And basically just you need to make alliances with the different people in the town, carry out tasks for them. Sometimes it'll be something simple, like you'll need to go and free somebody or do a prisoner swap or something like that. But there's...
Hello?
I'm still here.
I hit the mute button on accident. You have to do these tasks. I'm not sure where it cut off at. But anyway, you have to do these tasks for like... for the different people in the town to try to form allyships or make enemies. If that's what you want to do, you can fucking piss everybody off and so be it. The people that you choose to be friends with, you'll get buffs from. And the people that you piss off or that dislike you or worse comes to worse, hate you or die because of you, you will actually lose perks. So you may have to pay more to certain merchants or be more at risk of attacks from certain types of factions, depending on who you piss off or kill. So you always have that option to undercut or betray or change your mind and do something different and end up with a different outcome. Because of the roguelike nature, every time you play, there's going to be something a little different in each run that you're going to come across. It's the same basic storyline, but there's always going to be little subtle changes just based on who you interact with and what you do with them, which is a nice touch because it means that every run through feels different, even though it's the same story.
It sounds pretty awesome.
Yeah, once you finish the campaign, you're not done. You're not done.
No, there's more.
There's a brawl mode, BRAWL, not bra as in bra that you would wear, but brawl. And the brawl mode actually just lets you go through a series of days that have different battles and circumstances that will come up. It's very much like playing the campaign, but the chatty story elements are stripped out of it, and it's a more streamlined and a longer experience. There's definitely more interactions that you're going to come across. In the brawl mode, it takes a little longer. I want to point something out. There's 13 achievements for this game. I beat the campaign 3 times, and I don't have a single achievement. Good luck. There is one for beating a campaign in under 30 minutes. I don't know how. I don't. And unless you're just full on like murdering everybody you come across, it might be the only way to do it. But yeah, trying to keep things short and not go on for an extremely long time about a card battler. It's wonderful. I had such a good time. I loved all of the humor in it. I loved that it was dynamic, that I could just change the whole world. And I carried on the entire thing trying to decide, like, trying to keep it so that there were as few deaths as possible just to see if I could on one run. And I still finished. I think there's an achievement for finishing without any deaths. And I think I killed one guy on accident. And like, I ended up with 2 or 3 total overall. And I was like, well, God damn it. But, one of the things that I want to point out when I say that it's a card battler and that, you know, your decisions have an effect, it's not just, hey, are you going to fight this person or not? You have battles regardless because you have 2 different decks to build up. One deck is for negotiations and one is for battles. So if you decide you're not going to fight somebody and kill them, but you want to try to like convince them to come to your side, you have an actual battle that carries out with a different deck of cards for your argument. So you'll have each character. I really wanted to take a few minutes to describe this because it's such a cool concept. You have each character is on their respective side of the screen with a circle around them. There's an inner circle, which shows your intent. And then there's the outer circle, which shows your argument. So you can see what the other character is planning to do. And then you can also see what their current argument is. So arguments work out the way, like status effects, if you will. So you can gain influence, and then you can use that influence to help knock down the other person's argument a little more. So in that regard, it plays out like traditional combat would, but it's the way that you knock out the arguments and shrink the argument's health bar instead of the person's, so that they continue to live and can actually change the course of the game. I really liked the concept. I would like to see this kind of concept in more games. It still gives you that feeling of tension and struggle like normal combat does, but you don't have to be like, well, I killed everybody I come across today. You get I don't know, in a game that's so open about the fact that it's just gratuitous violence. The fact that there's this just whole option to play it peacefully is really intriguing.
Cool. Well, it's $20. What are your thoughts on Griftlands?
It's not even like, oh, maybe you should buy it. Like, everybody should just fucking buy this. This is great.
And it is from Klei, and they're good.
Yes.
Klei makes good shit.
Yes. And this is good shit.
Cool. All right. Next up is called Haiki, developed by Richard Hörnig, published by Application Systems Heidelberg, released June 2nd on Steam Early Access for $9.99. Haiki is the brutal precision platformer where decapitation is just the beginning. Dive head first into 4 worlds of color switching, laser dodging, lightning fast action. Haiki is the platformer where you don't need a body to get ahead. Chris.
Hi. Listen, I guess I dish it out. I can take it.
Tell us about Haiki.
Okay, so as the description hinted, Haiki is a game where your unnamed character is taking a hike in the woods, and suddenly a headless wizard shows up and corners him on a cliff, and with a sword lops his head off. And except for the fact that it's very cartoony and your nameless character is entirely white, including the giant pool of blood, it would be pretty disturbing. I actually, but here's the thing, is that the head rolls off the cliff, much to the wizard's chagrin, because I think the wizard wanted to, to get ahead, as it were. Then the head comes back to life, and you play as the head, and you're trying to, I don't know, get reunited with your body, I suppose, or, try to go shopping for hats. I don't know what's really going on here.
What pancakes
going on for sure is that your head has to jump around some platformy stages. Being a head, of course, you're not constrained by legs, so you can, of course, pull off a double jump immediately.
Which heads can obviously just, Well,
yeah. Well, I mean, have you ever cut off your head and seen what it can do?
All the time.
You don't know. I see you. Your head's still attached to your body. Anyways.
You got me.
So you can not only you roll around, you double jump, and you also wall jump, which is done, thankfully, not like Super Metroid style where it's like impossible. But, as soon as you touch a wall, you can jump up it, kind of thing. And but the game, I guess it spends a little bit of time staying easy enough, but around level 19 or 20 or something like that. Well, I guess level 15 is where they introduce the first different gameplay concept that isn't just jumping on platforms and, trying to avoid spikes and getting to the exit.
We should mention quick, this is an early access version. There's only 30 levels available right now, but the full game is slated to include over 80 levels.
Well, that's funny. I just stopped just short of level 30, so I didn't know that. But around level 15 or so, it introduces the concept that is the color wheel. Now, if you remember from years and years ago, all you old SML heads, when I reviewed Runbow, it was a game that, if the screen background changed colors, it would cause certain platforms to disappear and other ones to appear. Well, that's what happens in this game. There's let's say red, blue, and green for now. On the color wheel, if the color wheel is on red, then the backgrounds are red, and that means there are no red platforms, but there are green platforms and there are blue platforms. And then if you scroll it over to green, the red platforms reappear, but the green ones disappear. And but instead of Runbow, where it's on a timer, this one you control yourself. So it's all about jump onto a red platform and then jump towards, an invisible green platform and quickly change the background. But don't change it to the wrong background if you needed that blue platform too, things like that. So it ends up, on top of the double jumping, wall jumping, and spike dodging, it's you also have to pay attention to what colors are on the screen. So it gets real complicated real quickly. And I actually, it adds a lot of elements to the challenge that aren't just, cheap pixel perfect, precision type jumping, right?
Yeah.
Except that they totally have that in here too. But here's the thing though, is that on top of, the game itself is very challenging. However, this is one of those rare games that's actually made with accessibility in mind. So they give you all kinds of options to tailor this game to your own level of ability with this kind of precise platformer. For one thing, sorry, you can adjust the color of all three of the colors on the color wheel. So if you're having trouble with a deep red, you can change it to kind of a light pink or a peachish color or something like that. Same thing with the green. You can change it to a more subtle tone or a darker tone. Same thing with the blue. There's just a spectrum for each level of color, and about 9 different shades. So you can find the one that works best for you. So that's kind of cool. You can also reduce the game speed from 100% down to this one's only giving me 80%, but still in increments of 5. So that's 5 different levels that you can change the gameplay speed to, and you can also set it to where you can put the spawn point wherever you want it. So if you want to put a spawn point right before a particularly tricky jump, you could totally do that. So I like that. It also gives you options for where you want to put the color wheel, and changes vibration settings and things like that, and screen shake. There's screen shake in the game. Funny enough, because this game has a killer soundtrack, it's really good. And I noticed that when the song gets more intense, it triggers the screen shake. which is kind of a cool effect, but you can turn that off if you are bothered by it. But I really, really like the soundtrack. I'm going to be looking for it separate from the rest of the game.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, $10 on this one in early access right now. They are slating it to go up in price when it hits full release. Not too sure when that's going to be. They're planning to have more levels, more content. $10 right now, though. What are your thoughts on it?
I say it's a buy it if you're a fan of the super hard precision platformers. There's, besides the gimmicks I just mentioned, there's not much else going for it. So it definitely caters to a certain crowd. But yeah, it's high quality. I like it. Runs really smoothly. And again, I really like the soundtrack. The graphics are nice. And the premise is cuckoo bananas. But if that's worth $10 to you, then yeah, it's a buy it.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, next up is Pixel Cells, developed by Score Studios, published by Rainy Frog, released June 10th on the Switch for $4.99. Slide cells on a grid to combine them. That sounds easy enough, right? Well, not so fast there, Poindexter. Over the 100 levels, you'll encounter head-scratchingly tough challenges, walls that both help and hinder, conveyor belts that push your cells into specific directions, switcher cells, and viruses that... Well, everybody knows all too well these days that those are best to be avoided. Love that intro. Pernell, tell us about Pixel Cells.
The funny part is you kind of just did. Like this.
Good, a quick review. That's what we need on this episode.
Oh, I was about to say, we're getting that. This is going to make up for lost time. So, Pixel Cells is pretty much exactly as it was described. It is a sliding block puzzle game, but it uses, cells as the colorful medium to convey that puzzle. So typically every level will have a set of cells on them of various sizes and colors. They also give you a helpful grid in the upper left corner explaining how cell fusion works, because you'll need it. Well, you won't really need it. You'll get used to it fast. But the idea is that your goal is usually to combine all the cells on the screen into one massive cell. And this is done by matching like-colored cells or like-type cells to become a larger version of itself, and then matching 3 of that type to become a larger version of it until eventually you're down to 1 cell. Think 3 becomes 1 every step of the way. Now, things that they do with this concept to make it interesting for a sliding block puzzle game is as such. So let's say you have 3 tiny cells and you want to fuse them, right? So each of those cells can be slid in one of 4 directions. But if one of them touches another of the like type, they fuse together. And from that point on, you cannot push that cell anymore. It's locked in place until you complete it, and it becomes one new fused cell, which then can be pushed around the map again. So it will mess with your head in regards to the usual concept of push this block up here, which will be stopped by this block, and then push it in this direction, because you won't always be able to do that, depending on which cells are in which direction. But with that said, though, it's surprisingly still addictive and fun. It's a simple game, but the difficulty lies in how they format each stage. And when you complete a certain number of levels within a board, you unlock the next area or the next section of boards. And that section usually includes a new gimmick that makes it more difficult, such as the aforementioned conveyor belts or walls. So just when you think you got an understanding of how this game works, boom, they throw a kink in the works that makes you have to relearn it a little bit again. It changes it a bit on you. And there are a lot of stages in this freaking game. And you can't even really gauge how the difficulty will progress, because it's not as simple as level 3 is harder than level 2. Sometimes you'll have a level that's like complete cake, and one level that just doesn't mesh with how you perceive puzzles, and you'll get stuck there for an hour or 30 minutes or 10 minutes. Or 2 minutes, you smart bastard. The point is, it's a very addictive and engaging game, and the soundtrack is very relaxing, too. I think he does a good job of going with the game. So, there's your short review. I think this game has a lot of level content available to it and unlocks, and it's fun to play. And it's cheap.
Well, then $5. What's your verdict?
I give it a buy. It's enjoyable. And also, I just like Rainy Frog games.
Yeah, I'm down with Rainy Frog and Score Studios. They put out some good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. All right. Next game is called Rangerdog, developed by OOEGAMES, published by Hanaji Games, Released June 17th on the Switch and PC for $5.99. Save the universe with Rangerdog, a cute retro-style side-scrolling shoot-'em-up. Chris, tell us about Rangerdog.
Sorry, I was just trying to download Mushihime-sama again.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, I really want to play it, and it sucks that I can't download it. Okay, let's talk about a different shmup. So, Rangerdog, yeah, this is, holy jeez, it's a 16-bit style horizontal shmoop-em-up, and the ship of the game, rather than being a Vic Viper or a Silverhawk or anything like that, is a doggo. You have your choice of 3 doggos. One is, I don't know, like just kind of a standard pup. I mean, that's a Kotetsu, which is, you know, not an uncute dog. I guess it kind of looks like a Shiba Inu a little bit. And then one of the doggos is Ariku, the Doberman Pinscher, and Maru, which is just a floofer.
A floofer.
And yeah, a big old floofer. And they have different styles of bullets and upgrades that you can get for them. So there's one for every kind of shooter fan. If you're used to the Gradius or Darius or your various R-types, all 3 of which are kind of represented in this game. So you go through each stage, and there are these big, bright, cartoony stages, each one with like kind of a different theme. Interestingly, the first stage is literally like a sushi conveyor belt restaurant, which is kind of great. And the boss of it is a sushi monster. Which is adorable. Yeah, it's that kind of like parodious style of like, let's just go completely over the top and make this just, you know, just an adorable, absurd experience. And so, yeah, it's basically like the gameplay, like I said, is side-scrolling, so it will definitely remind you of like a Gradius, especially. When you shoot little segments of enemies, and those enemies could be like cute little birds or like, you know, mice or something like that, it may drop a power-up, which you can scroll through what kind of power-up it is by blasting it. So, you know, you can like get your double shot, your stronger shot, one of 2 kinds of missiles. Now, the problem is, so this is the only problem I have with the game, and it is because it's combining the situation of like picking up scrollable like weapon types, and it also has the level up system from the Darius thing. So if you pick up like enough of the same kind of blaster, it levels it up and makes it more powerful. If you accidentally change the type of shot it starts back over at level 1. So. And lots of enemies drop lots of power-ups. You end up dodging power-ups because you can't scroll through them fast enough. And you can't see because it does a spinning animation before it shows what the next power-up is. That's literally the only complaint. The rest of it is just adorable, absolutely worth seeing. It is a real treat of a game, and I don't even want to like talk too much about like what the bosses and levels look like because it's all a great surprise. Another thing that I like about it though is that it has a very easy mode. It has you can really load in like a bunch of credits and lives, although if you die, if you lose all your lives, that is, you do have to like start the stage over with a credit. However, it does save your progress until you are done, and you can like choose which stage you want to start on once you start it back up. So
that's good.
Really cool. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Cool. Well, $6. What do you say?
It is absolutely a buy it. I mean, if this is baby's first shmup, or if you're like really into like these type of games, absolutely pick this thing up. It's been made with a lot of care. And you know, I've said this before about it's Hanaji, right?
Hanaji, yeah.
Yeah. They did Barrage Fantasia and Desitopia, and both those games impressed me too. I think this is actually better.
Nice.
Yeah, I thought it was more expensive than $6.
$5.99.
Yeah, go get it. It's gonna be one of those hidden gems you're gonna wish you didn't miss out on.
Nice. All right, next up is called Open Country, developed by Fun Labs, published by 505 Games, released June 10th on Xbox One, PS4, and PC for $14.99. Okay, Scout, it's time to show us what you're made of. Break free from your city life and live like a real outdoorsman. The wilderness isn't for the faint of heart, but if you work hard, learn how to use the environment, and be one with nature, you too can become a master outdoors person. I didn't want to say outdoorsman again because it's Cole. And
it is me.
You're an outdoors woman.
That's right. And you can be an outdoors woman in this game, but I will go ahead and tell you right now that if you choose a certain hairstyle in the character customization, the one that's on the menu to choose from and the one that the preview character shows are not going to match. And also the one that you end up with in the game, also not going to match either of those two. There's a little bit of issues as far as that goes. It's minor. There's not a whole lot of character customization type stuff anyway. You choose if you're male or female. You choose, you can't have any say over your clothes, although later on you do get the ability to change the color of your camouflage depending on what you're hunting. You get to choose your hairstyle if you can pick the right one. And a couple of different color options for your hair, and that's well in your skin tone. But again, there's like 3 choices. It's like very white, kind of brown, very black. That's about all you got. I would have liked to have seen some more options, but I think there's bigger fish for them to fry than the character customization issues. The game itself is an open world survival hunting simulator, which I'm not mad at. I like survival games and I like hunting games, and I am 100% on board for this. For the concept. For the actual execution, there needs to be a little more polish and smoothing out that happens. It's kind of one of those situations where the game can't decide what elements of being a hunting simulator it wants to have.
Like a jack of all trades, master of none.
Exactly. Like if they narrowed some things down. For example, it's hunting sim enough that you have to be concerned about how much noise you're making, but it's arcadey enough that a rabbit ran past me and I whacked it with an axe and killed it. So
Okay.
I wasn't even trying. I didn't even see the rabbit. I was trying to see if I could cut a tree. Even though I had to craft the hatchet, it's not survival enough that you use the hatchet to hit things like the tree, right?
Mm.
You just instead find logs on the ground, but you have to have the hatchet in your inventory to actually craft with. So it's like, again, it has the basic building blocks of each genre it's trying to be, but it doesn't lean into any of them enough to really close the gap. This really became an issue for me when I discovered that you can get injuries. Now, obviously, if they're going for a survival element, that makes sense, and I wasn't particularly mad about the concept. Like, yeah, if you're out roaming around in the wilderness, shit's going to happen to you, and you need to be able to take care of that. But I didn't get any kind of warning that if I ate some mushrooms that I thought were cooked, because I'd put them over the fire and then went to sleep till the next morning and then took them off the fire the next morning, it hadn't been enough real life minutes, even though it had been overnight in the game, and they were still raw. And then my character got food poisoning. And I was like, okay, that was a hard lesson to learn. But fine. But the terrible part about your character having food poisoning is every 10, 15 second-ish on the dot, they will groan, basically complaining that they have food poisoning, right?
Okay.
They don't go, oh, I've got food poisoning. It's just oof, like that Roblox type oof sound, right? And it's constant, and you will have food poisoning. You can cure it if you can find the shit to put together to make a cure for it, okay? Or you can wait it out. And as long as like you continue to eat and don't get dehydrated and stuff, you can wait it out without dying. And I was like, fuck it. I only have one of the ingredients for the cure. I'll suck it up. I'll go do what I gotta do. I've had food poisoning in real life. You just suck that shit up, right? You're just like, I'm fine. And you go on. Yeah, it was not fine. Because after about 10 minutes of my character making that noise every 15 seconds, I was about ready to put my fist through the TV. I'm not an angry, ragey gamer, but I was about to be. I was so tired of hearing it. So I went into the settings and turned it off just so I could get through what I was trying to do. That doesn't need to be a thing. That it's so constant. Like, there's already the icons on the screen. It doesn't need to be so constant that there's literally a sound effect 4 times a minute.
Yeah.
That's one of those, like, it's a small grievance, but man, when you sit and play and you listen to it like that, and I think it was going to be like, I had 18 or 19 minutes left after already having listened to it of real life time before the food poisoning had run out. Fuck off. I was just so tired of it. In addition to that, there's definitely some visual quirks here. I had a lot of texture pop in. I'm playing on a Series X for the record. I'm pretty sure the console could handle this game. But there was a lot of texture pop in. There would be bushes and stuff popping up right up under my feet. In addition to that, I'll tell this part because it's not spoilery. One of the first missions it sends you on is that you have to set up your own little camp, and you get to upgrade your camp, and you know, it's typical survival game flair. So I set up my camp, and then you're supposed to make a delivery to a ranger, and he calls and he says, okay, on the little walkie-talkie, he's like, I'll be there tomorrow. And I'm like, sounds good, let's go. So I did the fast forward, did the sleep, let the time go forward. It's morning in the game. It splits to a cutscene, and like everything's got that morning sun tinge to it, right?
Okay.
But the lighting is so off in the game that the ranger character's eyes were blood red, and they looked like demonic. It was such an odd visual glitch. No, it doesn't affect the game in any kind of way, but that's something you would think they would check a couple times before releasing a game. Like, is our lighting gonna make our cutscene characters look like demons? I don't remember burying a hex bag at a crossroads before I went to sleep in this game. And I know it's supposed to be survival, but it's not supposed to be horror. So it's a lot of words to say that the game is rough around the edges.
Well, it's $15, so it's not like it's a full price survival game or a full priced hunting game. It is more budget priced. What do you think of it at $15?
I know I sound like I've been really hard on it for this review, but at the same time, I had a lot of fun with it once I muted shit. Once I was just, I got a concussion from jumping too far, right? And the way that they punish you for the concussion is throughout the duration of it, something like 14, 15 minutes of real life time. Your vision goes blurry. So the whole screen just randomly blurs on a timer. So even though like I'm rough on it and these things are like a pain in the ass, there's still some elements to it just because of the genre crossover that I still enjoyed, and I still was like, yeah, I'd load this up in the middle of the night and hunt for a little bit, right?
No.
So I don't want to like shit on it and be like, no, nobody should buy this. At $15, if you know what you're getting into and you know that it's got some rough spots, a lot of rough spots, then, but you still like the two genres and you're like, this is something that I don't commonly get to play, you might still have fun with it like I did. And for that, I want to go with like a hesitant try it. Like, make sure you already like survival and hunting games. Otherwise, maybe look somewhere else. This isn't a good starter.
All right. Moving on, we got a pair of Xitilon games to talk about. Chris, are you ready for these?
Oh, sure.
All right, because first up is Smart Moves 2, developed by Grin Robot, published by Xitilon, released June 16th on Windows 10 for $4.99. Smart Moves 2 is a pixel art puzzle game with turn-based combat mechanics. Each game level is a puzzle with its own logical solution. Chris, tell us about Smart Moves 2.
Okay, at last, the long-awaited sequel. No, yeah, I covered Smart Moves 1 a month ago? I don't know, something like that. So this is very much sophomore jinx, I guess is what you would call it. It is the same game. It's so basically with Smart Moves, you're a dude with a sword, and you start in a stage with some enemies and some treasure chests. You move a square at a time, and when you get close enough to an enemy, they're alerted to your presence and begin moving towards you. A good way to kind of, if you like an old school, like, comparison, it's kind of like Lufia 2, where, every time you move, the enemy makes a move. Now, the idea is that you want it to get where the enemy moves to the spot right in front, right to one side of you, adjacent to you, at the same time that you do, and thus allowing you to move into their square and kill them. If you occupy the square first and you're next to them, they can kill you, and then you have to start the stage over. So it's all about like kind of figuring out the timing of like the stages and the enemy movements and stuff. So the kind of equalizer here is the treasure chests, because if you open a treasure chest and get a coin, well, if you get all the coins in all the treasure chests, then the stage is done. Doesn't matter how many enemies there are. But if an enemy has you to where it's got this one square gap between you, where if you move towards it, it will kill you. If you move over to a treasure chest and open it, that takes up one turn, and then the enemy has to close in that gap that's right next to you, and then you get to kill them. And so it's very cool, and like they kind of they play with this idea in many, many different ways, introducing different kinds of enemies. Some of them you have to hit more than once, and then that also factors into whether you're going to be able to, close the gap with another enemy. And this game, the only real difference I even noticed with this game, besides that the levels are, a different layout, is that they now introduced different kinds of portals, like in the game Portal. So if you walk into a purple portal, elsewhere on the stage, there's another purple portal, and you will arrive on the other side of it. And that will, of course, factor into your movements as well. And so there can be up to several portals in a stage with, each one with different colors. And then that kind of helps you on your way too. And even though it's not much of an addition, it does add a whole nother dimension to the levels they appear in. The other thing I would say, as opposed to the original game, because all of this applies, besides the portals, as far as I could tell, I didn't beat the first game. But, apart from the portals showing up as early as they do, I guess, this game is practically identical to the first game. Again, besides that the levels are a little bit different, and that the second game ramps up the difficulty earlier, because I think they expect that you would have played the first game when you boot up the second one. So that's really all there is to say about it. Oh, presentation is kind of 16-bit style. It looks cool. It has a cool soundtrack. And yeah, that's about it.
Well, $5 on it. What do you say?
$5. Yeah. I mean, if you like the first one, certainly this is just more of the same. On its own, I would recommend going with the first game first, because it is easier to get kind of eased into that higher difficulty. This one curves much faster. But at the end of the day, they're puzzle games, so if you've got a mind for puzzle games, you can get through both of them just fine. And I believe this one has pretty easy achievements, although I couldn't I couldn't find mine, but it was giving me like achievements like for the first few levels.
If you do the Windows key and G, that should open your game bar when you're playing Windows 10 games, and that like your achievement should pop up there. But yeah, this is another easy one from Xitilon. If you kill 30 enemies and open 30 chests, you got all the achievements.
Oh, well, I did that, so there you go.
Carnage says it would be a smart move to buy it.
Oh, yes.
Carnage.
That's why I didn't say that.
All right, moving on. Next game to talk about is The Explorer of Night, developed by Alexandr Bondarenko. I don't know.
I don't know. Sorry.
Published by Xitilon, released June 19th on Windows 10 for $4.99. The Explorer of Night is a minimalist platformer where you need to help the main character to get out of the forest inhabited by unfriendly enemies and dangerous traps. Chris, tell us about your time with The Explorer of Night.
Okay. So I was told that that this is possibly, even among Xitilon games, like the easiest one to get all of the achievements. And I said that I was going to challenge myself to not get the achievements. And I am sad to say I failed. If you beat the first, like, I think 2 stages, maybe 3 stages, one of which is a simple tutorial, then you got them all. Because it's like, jump over a frog. Well, you have to jump over the frog, otherwise, you won't get past it. Like, jump over a ditch.
Should I just read the achievements?
You can, sure, go ahead.
Climb the stairs, jump on the mushroom, jump over the first fish, complete the first level, cross the first platform, jump on the frog, complete the second level, move a block, complete the third level, and climb over the first waterfall.
Ooh, actually, I don't think I failed, because I didn't see how many gamer points I got. I never jumped on top of the frog.
Oh.
However, in that first thing, climb the stairs, they mean ladders. There's no, as far as I can tell, there aren't stairs in the game.
Yeah, the achievement is climb a ladder.
Yeah.
Climb the stairs. So,
but it says climb the stairs. I noticed that, and I was like, oh, that's kind of funny. It's like the kind of thing I would do. So this is a very simple minimalist platformer where you basically just kind of jump from one end of the stage to the other. You play a cat. It says it has a cute story. The cute story is that this cat's kitten is dying, and you need to find a flower that is in the deepest part of the forest that's very hard to find. I don't know why that's cute, but anyway, I guess it gets cute later. But you do play as a kitty cat, and you got like a little backpack and stuff. It's kind of cool. And yeah, it's basically just like avoiding fish and frogs and, that move in fairly predictable patterns, riding platforms and jumping over things and trying not to die. The good parts about it is that the stages are put together pretty well. For instance, the platform riding sections have bits where you kind of have to like jump on the moving platform, and while it's moving you have to do like these platform segments to catch up to it, jumping around, and those are like kind of cool like things because it gives you like this persistent time limit and stuff like that. Kind of cool stuff like that. The ambience is really cool. Because the flower in question only grows at night, your entire game takes place at night. So conveniently, it is Explorer of the Night.
Nice.
And the music is this really cool, like haunting melody. I didn't hear any other game music. I think it's just the one song, but I actually quite like it, and I'm going to seek it out later. But so the things that I am not as hot on is that the frame rate chugs. It's a slow moving game in the sense that it's like playing on a like old ass computer that's like on its last legs, so it's not the smoothest of gameplay, but it doesn't really affect the game because the game's just not all that hard. So, and you'll be getting your achievements all within the first couple of levels. I think. I believe the achievement video that's on YouTube puts it at like 7 minutes to get everything. And but I like it. And it also has like occasionally you can pick up items and use them like dynamite and things like that. But ultimately it is a platformer that clearly somebody just made and had a cool idea for it to be a cat looking for a flower at night. But apart from that, there's not a whole lot exciting stuff going on here.
Yeah, well, $5 on it. What do you say?
I mean, $5, I'd say it's worth it if you are into the idea. I do hope that the frame rate maybe gets fixed or something. Maybe it won't. I don't know. I'm gonna put this one on the try it side of things, just because there's other platformers starring cats. There's other harder platformers, and Xitilon, like pretty much all their games are easy Xbox Microsoft achievements. So check this one out. If you like it, buy it. If not, my official verdict is try it. Cool.
Yeah. All right, one final game to talk about on this marathon episode is a preview of the game Nuke Zone, developed and published by Blue Wizard Digital. It's coming soon to Steam with a demo available June 16th. You could download a free demo and check out the game before it releases. Level up and customize your Cybertronic hover tank in this fast-paced synthwave-inspired tank shooter. Accept missions and battle your way through enemy fleets, traverse unique soundtrack-inspired levels, and tune your tank to perfection by collecting and installing powerful tank mods. Pernell, tell us about your time with the Nuke Zone demo.
Well, the Nuke Zone demo, from what I could tell, unless there was more and I just sucked that much, which is possible, they kind of just dump you onto a map and control the tank in question. It is a sort of very, I'm trying to think of the right way to describe it, but think like how like Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon looked, how it was kind of like that, like 80s, like grid, like neon grid style. It's visually looks like that. And you are controlling a tank that can be moved. There's no controller support, mind you. It's only the keyboard, but it's WASD to move it around. You can use W and the E key, not W, but like Q and the E keys to kind of do strafing, and Tab to do like a boost dash. And I think lastly there was like you can use like the space bar to like a sort of dodge maneuver while you're strafing. These are the controls you have for a purpose of like actually moving the tank around the map. Aiming and firing is done with the mouse itself. Left mouse button is for primary attack, and right mouse button is for the secondary attack. And I'm not sure if you'll be buying these in the full game versus them just giving them to you now. But if you hold down, I think it was like the tab key, and then hit the mouse buttons of the corresponding weapon, you switch between different weapons that mess around with. So you have like a laser gun, you have like a pulse wave, an EMP, rocket volleys. There's a good number of weapons and sub-weapons in the game that you start out with just running around with. And as far as gameplay is concerned, they task you with maneuvering through this synth-wavy, neon lights environment. And as you progress, you'll come across enemies that will spawn. Enemies including like tanks, heavily fortified tanks, and flying units that are freaking laser spraying douchebags. As this happens, you are being tasked with killing them all. And once you've defeated all the enemies, the gate that's preventing you from leaving the area will go down and you can progress to the next zone. I played through a few zones before I reached one specific one that mopped the absolute floor with me, because you walk in and there are just like pillars everywhere, and then like giant tanks will spawn and those flying laser blasting guys will spawn. Now, the reason why this is such a pain in the butt is because, one, I've never been all that good with like tank controls on a keyboard. Just never, even when I was a kid, I couldn't do it. Two, the lasers go through walls, so you can't use the walls as a cover. So you're really getting your ass handed to you out here. Like, you are a sitting duck. And I've had moments where like I was kind of dodging around, like letting the walls cover me in the areas where they could. And when the guns that just got through did, I just had to deal with it. But I just kept getting schooled. Does that mean I think the game is bad? Not even. I think the game has a lot of potential to it, actually, especially depending on how, eventually the final build is, with like selecting stages and choosing missions, and how the upgrading will play out. Because I know that when you kill enemies, they can drop a currency and also sometimes healing items to restore health to your tank. So that will likely be the gameplay loop. But I would like to see, how like the world, like stage selection will go, and how customization of the actual tank works. And if that actually does exist in the game, by all means, review company or whatever company, let us know, and that'll make me just go back and suffer until I get it friggin' right. But as it stands, though, the only real gripe I had is this: it'd be nice if there was some way for them to institute controller support. Because
I'm sure that's something that is possibly in the works. Again, this is a very early look at a demo. The full game, we still don't know a release date on it. Don't know too much info on it. So we'll see more as it comes. In addition to controller support, what else would you like to see in the full game?
Maybe, I mean, I'm assuming this is in the works too, but more primary weapons, because most of the weapons you could select from were secondary. The primary only had the rocket launcher and the laser. So hopefully there's going to be a lot more weapons that exist in that slot. Or, for all I know, maybe both sets of weapons can exist in either turret, and it's just a matter of how you equip yourself, which is very plausible. But, I mean, so far, I think it's just fine It's more of a case of needing to see more of the game itself exist to make more critique or commentary on it.
Yeah. Well, as it stands, is this a game worth keeping our eyes on?
I think so, especially if you're a fan of like classic tank controls. And that might be cool if it's something in the works. Make a versus mode for this. It would be a great. This would make for a great versus mode game, actually. So
I would imagine that they would have a versus mode, and I would think so at least.
Hopefully.
It seems like the kind of game that it really should have it.
Oh, yeah.
But we'll see. We shall see. But that is it for this episode.
Woo! We're alive.
Holy
somehow.
shit. We haven't had a 3-hour episode since September.
I didn't realize it was going to be this long. I actually saw like the game list, and I was like, it won't be that long. Fuck.
By the way, I
got
some great news.
What do you have?
My copy of Mushihime-sama has downloaded.
Yay!
Yay!
We're so happy for you.
It's done, baby.
Cool.
The only one that hasn't yet... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go.
I was just going to say, the only one that hasn't downloaded yet is Castle of No Escape 2, which I bought for $2, and it still hasn't finished.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good old Castle and No Escape. All right, well, that is it for this episode. Made it through another one. Thanks to you three for being here, and thanks to Tim for coming on and chatting E3 and talking Guilty Gear with us. God, it's been a long episode. Let's just wrap this up with some music. Does anyone have any final words to end the show?
I'm going to fuck the bed.